Alone? Attack! With your foot out!
No, not really, no. I'm alone in the dark.
Because I'm freezing my nuts off out here.
I don't have your stone! I'm the universe!
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
Wow.
It's time. It's time to finally finish what I started. The series that started the survival horror genre had it rough, and not just because you could dress up as Santa Claus. After the good but mostly forgotten remake, a broken and janky reboot / sequel, and whatever this is, the franchise wasn't doing so great, to say the least. I almost lost hope, until one day a sexy trailer dropped. It was about a brand new game in the series. Okay, it wasn't sexy at all. Fast forward to this second, to this moment, and hey, you're watching my video about it. First of all, how are you? Everything okay? You know you could be doing something a lot more productive than wasting hours of your life watching this video. You could be watching my other videos, and then this video as well. But no, seriously, thanks for being here. Grab some snacks, cause this is going to be a long one. Long like my dick. And second, this game is good, but there's a lot to talk about. I already made a video about it, a short video. I talked about how the combat can be good but easy, and the puzzles are really easy. And of course I talked about the jank. I made like 5 videos about this freaking franchise. I could have just moved on to other games, but no, I want to talk about everything that happens in this game. Everything. So buckle up. The game was supposed to come out last year, but they delayed it. Do you think they delayed it to 2024 because the original game took place in 1924, which is exactly 100 years ago? Calling this a remake isn't really accurate. I mean, we have the same characters here, and we explore the same mansion as the original, but there are so many differences. From the story, to the events that happen to you. Basically everything that happens is different. The modern Resident Evil remakes also did that. They also differ from the original games, but Alone in the Dark goes even further with its changes. It's not a remake, it's a reimagining. But calling this Alone in the Dark reimagining probably doesn't sound so good. Series creator Frederick Reynal gave his blessings to this game, saying that the developers did a great job preserving the core feeling from the original game. And yeah, in terms of the feelings that the game evokes, yeah, I think they nailed it. This is probably how people imagined it back in the day. They probably imagined it in a more realistic way and less cartoony. I mean, look at this. I'll go over all of the puzzles, combat, exploration, all of the gameplay mechanics and shit. And of course I'll talk about the story. We'll look at what happens with Edward and then with Emily, who are the playable characters. And at the very end, we'll piece everything together to understand exactly what the fuck is going on in this weird and lovely game. So stick around for the next 2, 3, 5 hours. Or however long this video is going to be. The beginning will be a bit slow, because I need to explain some stuff, but bear with me. I need to rant about some stuff in the beginning, but after that the pace of the video will get faster. And the ending is going to be... it'll take a while to get there, but you probably won't expect it, let me tell ya. Also, if it wasn't obvious, I'm going to spoil every little thing there is to spoil. Every little detail. Everything. Everything and everyone.
What the fuck?
So if you're going to play this, you have been warned, okay? Okay. First, we gotta talk about the prologue. This is Grace. She's the little girl we had to rescue in Alone in the Dark 2, and she's also the protagonist of Jack in the Dark, the one with the wacky dance moves. Believe it or not, she was an important character there. Here, she's you'll see. You'll see. Hey, she's tearing the script of the game, and she's making a mask of the original Edward Carnby. And this, it's a homage to Jack in the Dark, where a pirate named Jack came out of a little box, but it wasn't dark, It doesn't matter. I love the fact that they put it here. This place isn't creepy at all. I do think you should fix that. We walk outside and see a bird just chilling on a sofa. Okay. We make our way outside and...
Huh?
Okay, we don't go outside. We go here and talk to Jeremy, who is going to be an important character in the full game. Probably the most important one. The premise is that this Jeremy guy is going crazy. And, okay, this is a mental institution, the place where we're in right now, but he's allegedly going crazier than the other crazy people in this crazy place. Which is crazy, right? It's insane. It's mental. It's loony. What other words I can use to describe something crazy? He wants to send a letter to his niece, who we will meet soon. He's afraid to mail the letter himself, so Grace is like, I got you, bro. She goes to deliver the letter, but not before some more spooky stuff happens.
They're so creepy. Oh no, Jeremy, what have you done?
She's way too chill for a little girl. Stay? It's like she's used to the weirdness of this mansion. She doesn't seem to be bothered by this at all. Yeah, she screams a bit, but then she's like, nah, that's fine. I'm used to it. It's like when I scream when my cat jumps at me. I always scream when I suddenly see a pussy.
Oh, well, night music.
I guess she was super chill in her original incarnation as well. She delivers the letter, but a horrifying creature appears behind her. And we get this super nonchalant reaction from her, while the monster attempts to eat her. Black screen. Title. If I was in this situation, I would be shitting myself, not make a face like that. Like, oh my, what a pickle. Oh well. This whole prologue is like a 10-minute experience, and doesn't exactly represent the full game, which is exactly what Jack in the Dark was back in the day. But it's nice that we got this for free, like a year ago. Yeah, this is free, you can play this right now. One of the best things in this game is the walking mirrors. You don't see that often in video games. Now we can finally move on to this remake we've been waiting for so long, or at least a few people waited for so long. I think most people's reaction to the announcement trailers was something like, oh, Alone in the Dark remake? It's that old horror game with the mustache guy. Cool, I guess. The frog is eaten this time. Spoilers. The game was written by Mikael Hedberg, who worked on Soma and Amnesia: The Dark Descent. When I found out about that, I got really excited, because I love those games. The first Amnesia has a pretty good story, and Soma has one of the best stories ever told. If you want to have an existential crisis, go play Soma. Does the story here live up to that legacy? Well, no, but it is interesting, and it's the best story in the franchise. Though that's not saying much.
Don't expect me to let you have that happy end. Get out of my way. As for you, strangers, I know not what brought you here, but you too shall soon experience the taste of darkness and oblivion. Bonadza ternas guru helie zair hekatonkires.
What the fuck?
Apparently, Mikael studied the story of the original game and tried to create more fleshed out lore and relatable characters, which he thought were too limited in the original game. Yeah, okay, I'm on board, let's go! Remember Jeremy from the Prologue? Well, he was in the original game too, though you didn't see him. He was the owner of the mansion back then, but after some spooky stuff happened to him, he committed that thing that you can't say on YouTube. He unalived himself and stopped living. because he died. Is that okay, YouTube? But here the story is changed. He is alive, but as we saw earlier, he's a bit insane, he's a bit mental. His niece, Emily, got his letter. She became concerned and decided to hire a detective to go check up on him.
So, your uncle. What's wrong with him?
He's possessed.
As in the devil?
Something like that. He says a dark man is following him, watching him at all times. Despite being convinced that he is truly possessed, he decided to put his last chips on Dr. Gray and his psychoanalysis, figuring he might stumble upon some cure. I received a disturbing letter from Jeremy accusing the staff and all the other patients of being involved in some cult. And now they are also out to kill him.
Could it be real? Or is it all just in his head?
It's a story he tells himself, Mr. Carnby. Anything to avoid the truth.
Which is?
That we're all terribly insignificant. That people mean so very little to one another. That there is no one out to get Jeremy Hartwood because he isn't worth getting.
Here we are.
We get a shot like someone or something is watching us from a window. It happened in almost every game, so I'm glad they put it here. It's a cool and creepy visual.
My uncle's not well, Mr. Carnby. I want to make sure he's all right.
Then what's my part in this? You couldn't get a cab?
I just wouldn't feel safe going alone. Did you bring a gun?
Yeah. You think it'll actually come to that?
No. But you might need to wave it around depending on how agreeable the staff will be.
She brought him for protection. Then he's more of a bodyguard than a detective, even though when you play as Emily, she has her own gun, so she doesn't really need him. She could have just done it herself. You see this gesture where he pats his neck? Take a drink every time he does that. You'll be super drunk by the end of this video. He really likes to do that, so you'll see it a lot. And if you're underage, then drink water. Or tea. Tea is good. When you're drinking tea, you can pretend that you have a British accent. For my first playthrough, I chose the hard difficulty and the modern difficulty. There are barely any differences between modern and old school, so it doesn't really matter. If you bought the deluxe edition or this specific DLC, you can change the skins and make them look like they did in the original game, which is cool as hell. You already saw some of this footage. I love it when games do that, but don't do it on your first playthrough. I do miss that mustache though. The series changed so much over the years, but the only constant, the only thing that remained in every game, in one shape or another, is Edward Carnby. He's the only thing that appears in every game. That and also good music. The music is really good in these games, and especially in this one. Apparently the music here is called Doom Jazz, which at first I thought was a jazz version of the Doom soundtrack, but no, it's a genre, and it's good. Here Edward is the typical early 20th century detective with a drinking problem. Well, he did use alcohol to heal himself in the previous games, and it's the same here. They're both played by famous actors. I haven't watched anything with David Harbour in it, but he seems like a cool guy, especially because he's a secret gamer, so that immediately makes him an alpha male in my book.
I've hid it for so long, and I've only recently come out. I've only recently.
Say it loud, say it proud.
I know.
Okay, so tell me
That's
this.
the thing. I'm not ready, but the response has been phenomenal. Yes, I have been my whole life, but I'm very much an RPG type guy. Like I really like fetishing out on gear and attributes and, affixes and all, to make yourself a little more powerful to kill the monster. It's always been such a private thing for me. I don't really want to share it.
I did watch Jodie Comer in Killing Eve. She also seems cool, but that show was stupid. Anyway.
Hello? Hello?
Looks abandoned.
It can't be. There has to be someone around.
Wait here. I'll go around back.
Yeah, let's split up. That's always a good idea. You can save the game anytime you want, but when you load your save, you won't start at the exact same spot. You can dodge, which will be super useful when we get to the combat, but because I'm a dumbass, I forget to use it most of the time. If you want to know more about the technical problems this game has, go watch my previous video about it. But in short, there is some jank. I like that he puts his hands on this thing, that's a nice attention to detail. But, I mean, come on, the hands are clipping through. We'll see more jank throughout the video. Okay, enough rambling. We need to open the front door to let Emily inside the house. Even though she could have just come with me, but whatever. On our way, we step into a large garden and see a massive tree. Is this the tree from the end of the first game? You know, the final boss of that game? For now, we move on. Like in the original, whenever you pick up notes, there's a narration with good voice acting, so you don't have to read the note. It's like an audiobook. And if you want an audiobook, then you're in luck, because of today's sponsor. Use code AUDIBLE to get a massive discount. No, I'm kidding. Still not sponsored. Thank God you can just interact with objects like a normal human being and not do the stupid push animation that makes it look like you broke your back. This is the biggest gaming innovation yet. You can find random collectibles, you get different ones in both campaigns, and you have to get specific ones to unlock all of the endings. But that doesn't matter now. We find a map and the key. The map shows you which doors you can open by displaying green locks instead of red locks. I barely used it because the game is so linear. Okay, we finally get to the main lobby and open the door for Emily. And we meet all of the cookie residents of this house, including Grace.
Thanks.
What are you doing? Who are you?
Whoa, pardon me, excuse me. My name is Edward Carnby, private investigator. I hope you don't mind we let ourselves inside.
I do mind. This is private property. You can't just barge in here.
I'm sorry about all this, but I'm looking for my uncle. It's urgent, and no one was answering the door.
We can't hear you knocking anymore. None of us can. Who is your uncle, darling?
Jeremy. Am I right? She has that Heartwood gloom, doesn't she?
That's right. I'm Emily Heartwood. I just came to make sure my uncle is all right.
Well, he is unavailable right now. You will have to come back another day.
Unavailable how? Is he sleeping? We can wait.
He's lost.
Don't I know you from somewhere?
Who's your man again, Miss Heartwood?
My name's Edward Carnby, private investigator.
Splendid.
Enough! All of you! Get back to your rooms! McCarthy, keep your eyes on the child. And you two, please leave immediately.
Look, we're not here to cause any trouble. Just let us see the old man, satisfy the curiosity of my client here, and we'll be off.
Jeremy has gone missing. There's no need to worry, but it might be some time before he turns up. The whole staff is looking for him.
Oh, he's gone missing, and no one can find him. But no need to worry, it's normal for people to just disappear.
I don't have time for any of this. Please, come back tomorrow.
All right, in that case, we'll just wait in his room. You don't mind, do you? It's upstairs, right?
Wait, you can't.
Don't worry, we'll be discreet.
In the corridor. It's the first door on your left. I'll tell Dr. Gray you're here.
Excellent. Thank you, madam.
Also, I said this in the previous video, but I like this version of Edward. She tells him, "Don't go upstairs, young man," and he's like, "Nah, it will be fine. I'm just gonna take a look. I promise I won't pee on the carpet." He's polite, but he doesn't take no for an answer. In my other video, I said that Jeremy was the owner of this mansion, because that's how it was in the original, and it stuck with me. But no, here the mansion is actually a soft insane asylum. I say soft, because it's not like how you imagine it. They aren't chained in their rooms or strapped to a straitjacket. They're free to walk around, drink, smoke, and even give us a gentle poke in the butt with a syringe. Just some normal stuff, but we'll get to that later. We explore Jeremy's room and find a note about a supposed dark man. Even though this man isn't dark, I was lied to. I'm darker than him, and I'm white. It's just like how this dude called himself Goku Black. I mean, come on, man. You probably really want to say the N-word, but that's not how it works. You can't just say that you're dark or black. We talk to Emily about what's going on. You can always talk to people 3 times. Remember that. It's always 3 times. You don't have to do it, but you'll get more character interactions, and even an achievement. We get to the first puzzle of the game, and it's the easiest tile puzzle ever. We find a drawing of the talisman PewDiePie was looking for in that video, where he played this game in real life.
We're gonna blast her! Oh, what is that? That's a bullseye!
We find a painting of Jeremy, and he seems like he's having a bad day. He looks quite disturbed, or maybe he just needs to take a massive dump, who knows. Edward tries to figure this out, but thinking about it makes his head hurt. Also, it's a trope in Lovecraftian stories. Just looking at something horrifying can make you go insane. And yeah, I guess this painting is horrifying. Emily tells him to follow her, and just as the game begins to stutter again, we have our first supernatural occurrence. We're suddenly transported to a different location. This is our first time exploring the nightmare world. It's like when you're transported to the spooky zone in Silent Hill, and it's usually a manifestation of someone's psyche. Well, here, it's a representation of Jeremy's memories. Yeah, we're inside of his head. Somehow. Kind of. I already pointed this out in my previous video, but blocking a door with a broom or a bucket is super lame. There's no reason I can't just move this stuff and open the door. Yeah, I know it's a nitpick, but it's so stupid I have to point it out again. We finally get to our first enemy, and get a taste of the combat. I tried to sneak up behind him, but... yeah, that's a mean thing to do with the first enemy. I already lost half of my health, and I wasted most of my bullets just to kill one of them. This probably makes it seem like the game is going to be super hard, and resource management is going to be intense. But no, it's time to rant about the combat. If you saw my previous video, you'll know that I called the combat intense. After beating the game a few times, and even speedrunning it, I want to retract that statement. I even beat the game without using any healing items, so this should tell you how easy this game can be. The combat can be intense if you're playing on hard mode, and you're really not careful, and you forget about the dodge mechanic, like I did for at least half of the game. If all of the above happen to you at the same time, then it can be intense. Otherwise... the combat is laughable, almost as much as most of the puzzles, especially when you realize that there's no stamina and you can totally abuse the dodge mechanic and never get hit, because it has generous invincibility frames. Imagine that you're playing Dark Souls and you can roll to avoid damage because you have invincibility frames, but it doesn't cost any stamina, so you can just keep rolling. It would make the game super easy. Having said all of that, it can still be fun and tense when you're low on ammo, when monsters are coming at you, and you actually need to think on your feet. Maybe you'll fire some shots to stun them and run away. Maybe you'll use the environment to your advantage. There's always something you can throw at them. Or maybe you'll just run away while strategically avoiding enemies and luring them away from where you need to go. There are some moments of creativity here, or at least it makes you feel creative. But more importantly, because it's generally such an easy game, in terms of combat and puzzles, I think this is the perfect game for survival horror newbies. There's only 4 weapons, but hey, they work, they do their job. We can find melee weapons, which are useful, but they break apart pretty fast. There's also throwable objects, there's a brick, I think it's a brick, and a Molotov cocktail. I don't know why there's tons of Molotov cocktails just lying around in a hellish Lovecraftian dimension, but I'm not complaining. I really like their inclusion. It makes the combat feel a bit more dynamic, but I gotta say, it's super weird that you can't hold on to them. Just put it in your pocket. The game makes you feel like you have just enough resources to make it through, which is a nice feeling to have. It makes you feel like you're using everything you have to overcome a challenge. This game has all of the basics of survival horror, but that's it. It's only the basics. It's like baby's first survival horror game. You don't need to worry about inventory management, you don't need to worry about an inventory at all. Usually you have enough bullets to kill everything, even on hard mode. And even when you don't have enough bullets or health, the game will just give it to you. It will literally spawn them next to you. That's why I said this game is perfect for people who haven't played a survival horror game before. It's like telling a non-anime fan to watch Death Note. It's perfect for beginners. Oh, and there's QuickTime events, which will immediately make you hate this game. But they almost never happen, and you can change the QTE option, so that you won't have to mash the button and break your keyboard. Now you can just hold the button. So it's really a non-issue, which makes you wonder why they even put it in the game. Do they think that it's cool? Also, yeah, you drink alcohol to replenish health, and you can pick alcohol bottles from trash cans, and then drink them. That's healthy. Oh yeah, the story, yeah, let's get back to the story. After fighting some vine creatures, we head inside this shop, and meet a really tall man. I don't know how Edward didn't hear him.
Don't let them get inside, combat. They're not the good kind.
Is this your store?
There are no owners here. We both strangers in Jeremy's store.
Jeremy did this. How?
A pact with the Dark Man. Jeremy warned us, but we didn't think much of it.
I'm Detective Edward Carnby. I was hired by Jeremy's niece to find him.
Oh yeah? How much you paying you?
$150.
$150? For this shit? I would have gone home immediately, and I don't care if it was considered a lot of money back then. He was offered the same amount in the original game as well.
She's sure getting her money's worth tonight. Are you a thinking man, compare?
No, not if I can help it.
See? What did I tell ya?
You know, I think Jeremy's hiding in a way we can't find him. He has this juju necklace that guides him.
The talisman?
That's right. It's some magic charm he got from Miss Jackson down the street.
The voodoo priestess?
You know surprising things, compadre. Yeah, the Mama Loa. Here, take the key. I locked the gate to save her place from all the ghouls and goblins getting inside. Maybe if you go there, you can find some clues to show you the way.
Thanks. I'll have a look.
This nice tall gentleman gives us a key for a gate up ahead. Apparently he's also looking for Jeremy. And he's also aware of the monsters. We can talk with him some more, and we learn that he has a sister. We ask if he wants to come along, but he refuses. Instead, he wishes us good luck. What a nice fellow. Aim your gun at him, trust me. No, seriously, do it. You'll get a reward. He keeps saying this word, and at first I didn't know what it meant. So I looked it up, and it refers to someone who introduces contestants in a variety show. Is he calling me a host? If anything, Jeremy's the host, right? The host of this nightmare place. We just established that we're inside of his memory. This might make sense later on, when other stuff happens, but for now, we need to keep going. We fight some creatures, including this shambling thing with long arms. He's standing in the spotlight, like he's literally trying to recreate the SpongeBob menacing meme. We run away from the remaining monsters and enter a spooky place. Here, we find it. We find the talisman we saw in the drawing in Jeremy's room. The talisman was an important part of the original. Though you didn't need to use it over and over again, like in this game, it had a very specific use, which was at the end, during the final boss. Here, you use it to solve this puzzle, over and over again. Not only are the puzzles easy, for like 95% of the time, but sometimes, if you're stuck, the game will just tell you what to look for. I guess this is a good part to rant about the puzzles. Prepare yourselves. The only differences I noticed between the modern and old school difficulties is the lack of numbers on the right when you're using the talisman, and also the important parts are not highlighted in notes, but because most of the puzzles are so easy, it doesn't matter. You almost never need to read a note to solve puzzles. The shitty Alone in the Dark from 2008 had harder puzzles than this. I have harder puzzles when I go to the toilet. Under the Mayo explained it really well in his video about this game. Go watch it if you haven't already. What do you think we need to do to solve this puzzle? Explore the room? Find clues? No, We just open the only note we have about the talisman, and the code is right there, right in front of us. 358. We put it in the talisman, and wow, it works. How did I do that? Wow. You'll see how easy the puzzles are the more we progress. After solving the puzzle, the door opens in an ominous way. We enter, and boom, back to reality. This is where we really see that Twin Peaks vibe.
I understand you are working for Jeremy Hartwood's niece.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, you're not wrong. We came here for her uncle. I just didn't expect... I didn't expect this. You are Dr. Gray, right?
That's right. You don't happen to have some identification, Detective. I'm not keen on having strangers prying into my business. Oh, Detective Edward Carnby, Decatur Street, New Orleans. Enjoying the Vieux Carré, Detective? Those old French quarters, the voodoo people, the gangsters. I'm sure you live an exciting life.
Well, it's not quite like the stories, Doc. Just trying to make a living.
Aren't we all making a living? Now what can I do for you?
Why don't you tell me where I can find Jeremy Hartwood?
Why wouldn't that make for a short visit? I wish I could tell you, but I'm afraid I don't know. A drink, Detective? Armagnac or cognac?
You know, just give me the cheap stuff. I'm not much of a connoisseur.
I wouldn't drink anything in this place. On the other hand, he has been drinking alcohol from a trash can, so the doctor doesn't help us find Jeremy, so we decide to leave. This doctor is suspicious as hell, but at least he gave us a drink. Sadly, it didn't restore our health. I guess it was too good. I guess only shit drinks from the trash can heal us.
Detective Carnby, how did you... Where did you go?
I was just talking to Dr. Gray.
You disappeared.
No, it's not what you think. Have you found anything strange going on here?
Yes. Everyone is being incredibly evasive and I can't figure out why.
No, I mean something you can't explain. Paranormal, even.
You can explain it, though. You were slept around by green ghouls.
Detective, I really need you to get yourself together. I can't do this alone.
She says that, but she does continue to be alone because they split up again.
Do you want to come see Dr. Gray?
No, I want to try something. You know, with this talisman, I think I can follow Jeremy to the place he mentioned in the book. What was the name? Do you remember something Spanish? Taroea. Yeah, that's where I need to go.
Detective, are you gonna be alright?
Yeah, of course. Go talk to Dr. Gray. We'll rendezvous later.
So you're not gonna tell her about the spooky acid monsters. Look, man, maybe you want to follow someone into their subconscious. Maybe that's your kink. I'm not judging, but I'd rather go home and work on my next video. Wait, actually I don't. That bear is just a statue. It's not real. It cannot hurt me.
Fatality.
I'm not gonna walk out of this now. I need to help Emily save her uncle.
No, you can leave. You can go home. $150 ain't worth it, man. You don't need that money to buy alcohol. You can find it in the trash for free. We decide to explore this place, and soon after, we run into another goofball.
You know, I'm kind of busy with my own case of a missing person. I was wondering if you've seen Grace, girl about yay high?
I can't say that I have. Why are you asking?
Well, I'm looking for her.
Is she in trouble?
No. She's just hiding somewhere.
Apparently Grace is missing, and this guy is looking for her, but we don't know where she is, so we keep moving.
Looks like everything's back to normal here.
Emily's here.
He's not commenting on why there's suddenly a painting of Emily. We unlock a door with some keys we found, and it leads us to maybe the best puzzle in the game, because it actually requires some thinking. There's a lock, and we need a code to open it. The code is a combination of zodiac signs. We have a note with a wheel that contains zodiac signs, but we don't know which signs to put in and in what order. And the only things we have in this room are these pictures and this big picture with people. Now we need to figure out how all of these things are connected. This actually took me a while, and by that I mean a few minutes. But still, it's more than I can say for the other puzzles. The first thing we do is notice that there is some shit smeared all over these pictures. But it's not just random shit, it's some sort of connecting line. We flip the pictures so that the line of shit is properly connected. We've done it. But what now? What's this? These pictures have names on them, which correspond to the names on the big picture. So we look at the names on the flipped pictures and we can see that there are numbers next to each one. 9, 4, 2. Then we remember that in the zodiac note that we have, there were also numbers, which means this circle is like a translator or a converter. We can decipher what each symbol means. Each symbol corresponds to a number, and the order in which they appear, from left to right, is the order of the combination. 2, 9, 4. Boom. Maybe I have been rambling about this puzzle for too long, but I wanted to explain how this puzzle works, so that you'll see why it's good. It makes you pay attention to your surroundings. It makes you connect old information, which is the note you found earlier, and new information, which are the pictures in this room. It makes you think, which unfortunately is not something I can say about most of the other puzzles. For our troubles, we get a broken plate. We exit the room and ooh, a spooky transition. The green filter is back and there's poop falling from the ceiling. Ew, don't touch it. And then back to reality.
What happened? Everything's normal again? Alright.
We continue to explore, but uh-oh, another spooky transition. This is an example of something that appears to be very scary and creepy, but it's actually a super linear section, with no fail states. Which means you can't lose, no matter what. At first, it's tense. Everything changes around you, and your feet are covered in poop, and the only way out is locked. But then you just walk very slowly for a few seconds, pick up a bolt cutter, because when you solve these puzzles, usually what you need will be nearby, like 2 meters away, and that's it, it's over. What was the point of this, besides giving you a mild jump scare? There was no challenge here. I know I'm criticizing this game a lot, but overall, I do like this game. And I'm only criticizing out of love. We find ourselves in the garden, and we get another broken piece. We use this ladder to make a shortcut, which leads back inside. Using the broken pieces we found, we're able to solve this incredibly difficult clock puzzle. You don't need any hints here. Just rearrange the pieces so you will get a shape that makes sense. When you do that, the clocks will stop and you'll get 3 numbers. Put them in your talisman and voila! The talisman shows us some stuff outside Jeremy's room. So we go there and oh, look at that! We're alone in the dark. We get another spooky transition, but this time it lasts more than a few seconds. There's a sexual joke here somewhere, but I'm too tired right now, I can't think of anything good. We get to another memory, and for now, we're stuck here. We explore this place, and there's a genuinely tense atmosphere here. We can even see some monsters in the distance. Also, everything is too green. The developers probably did it to evoke that Lovecraftian feeling, because Cthulhu is green and that color is associated with him. I walk around and I don't notice the monster that's coming from the floor, so I get jump scared. Sometimes the enemies aren't really smart, they'll just stand there and eat my shots. We activate the bridge and cross to the other side, and then we fall from a window.
Oh fuck, I can't believe you've done this.
Ooh, don't forget the hat. You can also take a drink every time he protects his head. He does that a lot. We get this cool little ambush. but we kill it in 5 seconds. You will never run out of options. The game will always give you stuff to deal with enemies. There will always be items in the environment that you can use. Ah, the shots disappear. That's disappointing. The enemies were designed by a guy named Guy Davis, who worked with Guillermo del Toro. I don't know if I said that right, but you know who that is. For the most part, yeah, he did a pretty good job. Some of them are basically just bug creatures, but some do look kind of disturbing up close. As you can probably tell by now, depending on how I edit this video, you don't really suffer any consequences if you run away from monsters, and there isn't a lot of exploration going on in this survival horror game. Exploration is a staple of the genre. The game needs to encourage you to explore every nook and cranny, to find resources like health and ammo, you know, so you won't die. It's part of the survival in survival horror, and part of exploration is backtracking. Here, backtracking mainly occurs when you're inside of the mansion, not in the spooky zone, and monsters usually only appear in the spooky zone, which means that you quickly figure out that whenever you're in the mansion and not in the spooky zone, there's no monsters. You're safe. There's no risk whatsoever. You can walk around without a care in the world. And if you always know when you're safe and when you're in danger, it kills the horror. It destroys the tension. So when you're backtracking, you know that you'll be safe. And like I said, there's not much backtracking in the spooky zone. So if you manage to run away from a monster, you don't suffer any consequences. You're safe. The monster that you left alive won't be waiting for you when you get back. Because you won't get back. And when you're in the mansion and you get back to previous places, it doesn't matter because there's no monsters there anyway. I hope I explained it properly. It's like the game is wearing the skin of classic survival horror, but everything is streamlined down. And remember, I'm playing on the hardest difficulty, so it's even easier on the lower difficulties. At least you can shoot their limbs off. That's cool. I know I'm talking about this stuff a lot, instead of talking about the story, but I really needed to explain it to you. You can see the basics of survival horror in this game. You can see the potential, but it's like it's afraid to go all in. Also, there's this annoying thing with doors, where they close after a few seconds, and you have to wait for the animation to end before you can open it again. Luckily, you can skip the door animation by running at the door, and you just bust it open. But you can only do it in the spooky zone, for some reason. Okay, let's get back to the story. Eventually, we get to this place, and enemies become even more trivial when you realize that they cannot reach you when you're above them, so just shoot them to your heart's content. Everything starts to burn around us, so we climb this tower and find a tough cloth. How tough is this cloth? Is it tough enough to get to the salty spittoon?
Go ahead. Welcome to the salty spittoon. How tough are you?
How tough am I? How tough am I?
I can be used on a rope in a spooky dimension.
Yes, so?
While being touched by a dirty alcoholic.
Right this way. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Hey, it's like that part on the ship at the end of Alone in the Dark 2. Cool. Also, don't lose the hat. It's the most important thing. We walk deeper into the swamp, and then this happens.
What the hell is that thing?
It looks dangerous, and somehow it didn't see me. We get inside of a cave, and finally find another human.
Don't come any closer. I'm armed.
Get that thing out of my face.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
I'm just a detective trying to find something called Tarawea.
You after Jeremy too? Why?
I'm working for his niece. She wants to make sure he's alright.
He might be unharmed, but far from alright. He's a curse upon Deseto.
Here we go again.
What?
That massive creature we saw earlier is coming inside of the cave. I said what I said. It's here, and this woman, who is the sister of the black gentleman we met earlier, can't figure out how to work a flashlight. I know what I said. She attracts the creature, which forces us to shoot it. He tries to get us, but then...
Oh, Christ in heaven.
We go back to reality. And... Ooh.
Ooh.
Look at that. It's a beautiful, double-barreled shotgun. But we can't get it yet. Like I said, the game is very linear. What you need is usually nearby. And sometimes the game just gives you the item that you need. Like here, there's a wedged door. And 2 feet across... What do you know? There's the item we need to open that door. Okay, guys, listen. Here's the most important lesson you need to take from this game. Never, ever disturb a woman when she's in the kitchen.
What are you doing in my kitchen? I assure you.
I'm sorry.
Promise you. Mr. Heartwood is
I was just
nowhere
looking
near my
for-
kitchen, and neither should you be. Don't make me
I didn't
kick you
mean
out
to-
of this house.
Sorry.
Now get out!
Yeah.
After that lovely interaction, we head to the wine cellar, where there's an item we need, but it's blocked behind some electricity. And again, the item we need to turn off the electricity is literally in the same room, 2 meters from where we need to use it. We turn off the power to stop the electricity, but now it's spooky. I'm actually alone in the dark. Yes, I know I've said that joke already. We get the valve handle, and now we're dead. This is probably the only time a monster appears outside of the spooky zone, which made this section a bit tense, but it's over as quickly as it started. We use the valve handle to turn off the gas. And, hey, we found Jeremy. Already. Wait, no, he's covered in eyeballs, or whatever this is. That's not him. Or maybe it is him. I've never actually met him. Oh, he disappeared. Never mind. At least he gave us another piece of the puzzle. We meet this lady, who we briefly saw earlier, and she flirts with Edward.
Welcome to the madhouse, Detective.
Thanks. Did the ceiling just collapse?
I heard it was something in the attic, something that was supposed to happen but didn't. How that could have such consequences is beyond me. The truth is, I don't know why the room looks like this. But I bet your friend Jeremy does.
You know where I could find him?
Oh, somewhere in his past, I suppose. He keeps going on about that mysterious dark man. I think he is hiding from him. Or maybe he's with him. I can't really keep up.
They're talking in a calm and nonchalant way. I get that everyone's weird because this is basically a soft insane asylum, but why does Edward do it? He's just rolling with it. Also, no one is commenting on all of the blood on his clothes. I guess that's normal for them too. Or maybe they think he spilled some ketchup on himself.
Good luck, Detective. Hope to see you again soon.
Yeah. Evening, miss.
The more we progress, the more doors we unlock in this house, and the more shortcuts we create. And we find a beignet, which is a French pastry. At this point, I discovered something tragic. You can break vases in this game, which is always fun, but it's not like in RE4. It doesn't give you items. We progress and find some stuff, which we use to solve another easy puzzle. It's actually a decent puzzle, but only because it's so similar to the good puzzle we solved earlier. Astrology invaded this puzzle as well. What do we get this time? Another broken piece. Who's the asshole who broke it and put the pieces in different places? Before solving this puzzle, we find Grace, and we begin to smoke. Smoking near children is super healthy.
Do I know you from somewhere?
I remember you, Mr. Conby.
From where?
Don't touch that. Cassandra wouldn't like it. She wouldn't like it at all.
Do you know where she is?
She'll be back after the Feast of St. John.
You think?
Yup. It's all on the page, Mr. Conby. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt.
All right.
I'm gonna go now, if that's okay. I don't like to stay too long in the same place. Mr. McCoffey might find me.
Hey. Is he mean to you?
Not everyone needs to be saved, Mr. Conby. You should know that by now.
These two clearly know each other, but she refuses to tell us how, and Edward only asked her once about it, and then just gave up.
Huh.
Do you like puzzles? Like actual picture puzzles? Well then this is for you. I don't know why there's a puzzle on a boiler. I guess that's just how it is in mental institutions. This one took me a while. It's not hard, it's just time consuming. Eventually I solved it and everything broke. Including my frame rate. We used the numbers on the boiler and solved the talisman puzzle, which teleports us to another spooky place. This time, it's some kind of cemetery.
I knew it. I knew it would work. You're getting good at this, Carnby. Maybe a little too good at this.
You'll notice that the map doesn't work in this place. That's how you can know if you're in reality or in the nightmare place. We fight some monsters, and...
Now what do we got here? There's something missing.
Oh no, there's something missing. I can't progress. Whatever shall I do? Oh, there it is. Literally 1 meter away. We get ambushed by a new enemy. And he looks cool. I think it's a new enemy. His arm is like a whole corpse. He looks good. Those blood effects don't look good, though. Did you know that there's stealth here? Yes, there's stealth in this game. Kind of. I didn't talk about it until now, because it's barely worth mentioning. There's a few small sections where you can sneak past monsters. And yeah, it's a good idea if there's a lot of them in one place, but you can just as easily outrun them, because like we said earlier, it's easy to run away from them. Well, except for this place, because of the shitty water that makes you go slow. We find another medallion, and then we receive a taste of those sweet quick time events. You'll never take my hat! Never! Oh look, there's a place for 2 medallions. I have 2 medallions, and the solution is super obvious. What are the odds? We enter a cave of skull and bones. No, not that skull and bones. And we're ambushed by tons of enemies, so we have to run away. Edward even says it himself.
Thank God that's over.
Not yet, Snake! It's not over yet! Liquid!
We solve another incredible puzzle and get inside of the chapel. And we finally meet the man himself. You silly goose, where have you been?
Please don't touch her. Jeremy. What are you doing here? Everyone's looking for you.
I know, it's all a big mess. No one understands. I'm just trying to keep evil at bay. Just for a little while longer. I made a terrible promise with someone.
The Dark Man. Who is he?
No, don't say his name. He can hear us. He's always listening.
Jeremy, I need to understand what is going on.
I promised him everything. When the sun rises, I will be chained in his sunken desert temple for an eternity. But at least the evil about to awaken and to settle won't harm anyone outside of that cursed place.
You're acting crazy, Jeremy. I want to help.
There's nothing you can do.
Then what's all the business about Tarawea? Why did you want to go there?
I can't go there. Not allowed.
So this conversation is just lovely. I had no idea what he was talking about. You have no idea. Edward has no idea. And before we can figure out what he means, we get rudely interrupted.
Look out! Behind you!
The downside of being agreeable is that you're not very good at putting forward your own interests. Women get paid less than men.
I was about to say, what a dumbass, he knocked me out. but that actually what saved me. Thanks for knocking me out, Jeremy. We just carry on like nothing happened, because I guess at this point we're used to teleporting around. But who cares about traumatic experiences? We finally get the shotgun, but it will be a while until we use it. For now, we go back to Jeremy's room and find a telescope lens inside his luggage, which we use on a telescope. I know, shocking. This is a puzzle where you basically zoom in and out until you see the light.
Whoa.
Who are you? Oh, it's just your mom.
Boo! You stink!
We then begin to solve a puzzle. The puzzle is so easy that the game just solves it on its own. Literally.
Whoa, what's going on? It's dialing in something all on its own and it's showing the way to another memory? Where is that?
We return to the mansion and what? This door is usually open. Now it's suddenly locked. And then... boom, spooky zone. This was actually pretty cool. It was unexpected. Look at this guy. He looks like he suddenly slipped on a banana. Now we go back to the mansion. And then we go back to the spooky zone again.
Here we go.
But this time, it's going to be a bit different. More beautiful, but we're at the halfway point, by the way. I hope you like Spanish, people.
I'm glad to see you made it. I had my doubts, but the hope you instilled has yet abandoned me.
I guess this must be Tarawea. Who are you?
My name is Juan Luis Jorge, and this is indeed the convent of Tarawea. You'll have to excuse me, but Jeremy never got your name.
The name's Edward Carnby. I'm a private investigator. You're not a patient, are you?
No. I'm the author of a book that Jeremy once found important.
How does that work? Are you part of this memory as well? Is this even a memory?
I'm a man Jeremy has never met, and we are in a place that he has never been.
Okay.
Meet Juan. We love Juan, and I love saying his name. Juan is a writer of some book that Jeremy likes. Whenever Jeremy is sad, he thinks of this place, his happy place. A nice, cozy yard with a Spanish dude. This is also an important place because it's here where Jeremy keeps information about his pact with the Dark Man.
You should seek out the convent library and try to find the truth about Jeremy's relationship with the Dark Man. It's the sort of knowledge he represses and is unable to reflect on.
Will it tell me how to break the pact?
Perhaps. At least you'll have something to confront Jeremy with.
See? What I tell you. There it is again.
There is another thing you should know about the library. He is here as well. The Dark Man has been working his way through the text for a long, long time.
He's here? How am I supposed to get past him?
Be careful, detective.
Oh, jeez. Just perfect.
I like this moment. It's nice to have a peaceful moment after all of the shit we've been through so far. It's a nice change of scenery, and it prepares us for what's to come. Also, Juan is delightful.
You have any advice on how to deal with the Dark Man?
I suppose suppression could work. Try not to pay him any attention.
So, just ignore him? Just like I ignore my children. Yeah, that should be easy.
Well, good to meet you, Juan. I'm going in.
May the gods be with you, Edward de Vilban.
We head inside of the library, and oh no, occasionally the game doesn't load all of the textures fast enough, and it looks like this. That's the scariest part of this game. We head deeper and... whoa, look at that. It's beautiful. This is very pretty. Too bad it's going to be covered by dark shit. first, it looks like a really tense section. He starts to follow you. Your health is constantly ticking down. When you're near him, if you try to shoot him, you start to go insane.
It has to stop! I gotta make it stop!
And then you die. If you touch him, you die. It's spooky. Really. Until you realize that he basically has no AI, and avoiding him is easier than punching a baby and stealing its candy. Don't do that, by the way. What Juan said is really what you're supposed to do. Literally just ignore him. He will never catch you. He's not even going to attempt to catch you. He's not even going to chase you. He has a specific path that he takes, and he never deviates from it. It's like the developers are using Juan to tell us that, yeah, we didn't program him, so just avoid him. At least the concept is creepy. He is staring into your psyche and makes you go insane. He's consuming your mind so much that you can't even touch him. I also like how he sucks all of the color out, leaving you with a black and white screen. Being chased by an eldritch being is always appreciated, but in terms of gameplay, it's kind of poop. Just use this item to make ladders fall down so you can climb them. Walk through a linear path until you get to this place and get to this elevator. And that's it, you're done. Now watch this insanity.
I went through the night with the restless crowds. He was a kind of itinerant showman who held forth in public halls and aroused widespread fear. The New Orleans address of the event is lost, but I remember distinctly the Prext shipping company pressing their contribution. Hey.
The Dark Man appears and... Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna call him the Dark Man anymore. He's not dark. I'm gonna call him Jordan Peterson. It's a bad joke that will make sense towards the end. Jordan Peterson appears and makes you go insane.
Shipping company pressing their contribution. Hey.
Yeah, you gonna whine about that? Bring everything out of the realm of the unspeakable. I definitely have to pull my punches. If here to my lair, little one, you know, it's gingerbread and candy. I'll take care of you. I just cannot get accustomed to. I don't know. I don't have a frame of reference within which to put this. You're a son of a bitch.
I hope you found what you were looking for. I fear there is no going back.
Okay, that was cool, but I have something to say. First of all, rude. How dare you just take the book without asking? And second, what's up with the whistling? Why did that distract him? Oh well, thanks for saving me, Juan. That's why we love you. You gotta teach me how to whistle like that. Here we get a massive name drop, which isn't really massive in this game, but it's Prext, who was the final boss of the original game. That guy who turned into a tree, who brought a new meaning to the term tree hugger. And we saw a massive tree in the beginning of the game. Coincidence? We'll see. Also don't forget your hat. Never forget your hat. We somehow arrive at a bar, and Ruth is sitting there. She's all like, "Oh, it's good that you're here, detective. What's that? You're badly hurt with blood on your clothes? And you almost shot yourself after standing next to a dark man who isn't dark at all? Nah, I don't see it. I'm not going to comment on that. Come have a drink with me." At least he enjoys it.
Nice. It's good.
I know. I have great taste, detective. I heard you're trying to break Jeremy's promise to the Dark
Toughest
Man.
lobster that wins.
Yeah. Do you know anything about that kind of stuff?
No, but it makes you wonder. If he made a promise, can't he simply stand by his words?
Look, lady, don't try to use your logic here. I'm going to save him because I really need those $150.
I'm just trying to get Jeremy out of a bad deal, so he'll come back with us to New Orleans.
Well, if all fails.
What are you doing?
It's a sign of submission to the Dark Man. I saw it in a dream once.
What?
You can tell that she at least knows about some of the supernatural stuff that are going on here, but not enough that you can question her about it. So you see her as just a random person in all of this. Until she teleports you to Silent Hill.
How did you do that?
Do what, detective? Bonne chance.
Then she just leaves, and Edward doesn't really question how the hell she did that. At least she seems like she's on our side, and she's very pleasant to talk to. So we're in Silent Hill now. When we read that book, we found out that Jeremy met Jordan Peterson on some stage play, but we don't know where it was, so we need to find the address in this warehouse. I know I called it Silent Hill, but this place reminds me of the Sinking City, which I haven't played yet. It might also be a homage to Innsmouth. You know, that fishing town from The Shadow over Innsmouth, the famous Cthulhu story, which the game Call of Cthulhu from 2005 took heavy inspiration from, which is a game I did play many times. I need to make a video about it. We finally get to use the shotgun. Well, that was disappointing. I expected it to blast him into pieces. We fight some enemies and... I'm stuck. That was stupid, but okay. Here I found out that you can shoot the bottles after you throw them at enemies and they will light up, which is cool as shit. It's hot. Eventually we get inside the warehouse, and now we can finally become a true American gangster, because we find a freaking Tommy gun.
Hey, I always wanted to try one of these.
Don't worry, Edward. You'll try it out very soon. But first, we need to open this safe. There's a note here with some backstory, but like always, it's not relevant to the puzzle solution. What is relevant is the bottom. What is left, later, is right, hell is back again. If you've played games where you needed to open safes, like the original Call of Cthulhu, then you'll immediately know that these are the directions of the lock rotation. Left, right, and then left again. But what are the numbers we need? You might start reading the whole note and look for clues there, but like I said, it's never relevant. The solution is stupid, but at the same time, kind of clever? We need to look at the amount of letters in each highlighted word. So it's 4, 5, 4. We have the directions, so we try it out, and it works. The safe opens, and we find a note with the address we need. Apparently they delivered a black pharaoh to that address. Now that that's done, it's time to test out my new gun. Say hello to my little friend. And my big friend. You know what? Say hello to my long friend too. Just say hello to everyone. Don't be rude. Because we found the address, some of the fog cleared up, and now we can explore more of this place. But not really. The only place we can go is this building, which is the address we needed to go to. So this place was just across the street from us the entire time. We find Jeremy again.
Welcome, Detective, to the greatest show this side of the Mississippi. Now the hotel, the Black Pharaoh, the ancient magician who lived 1,000 lives and wore 1,000 masks.
So you got scared by a stage magician, and now he's living inside your head.
You can mock me, Detective, but you would be the crazy one to think his presence can be ignored. Look where we are!
I mean, Juan told me to ignore him, and he's part of your subconscious.
Try not to pay him any attention.
And look at that. Another one.
We didn't get to finish our last conversation, did we? You were about to tell me how to break the contract with the Dark Man.
No, we can't. If we turn her loose on the world, so many innocent would die.
But there is a way to break out of the deal.
There is. He offered me a way out. Steps to take.
What are they?
You'll never find them. They're forever entombed in his sunken desert temple.
For now, we don't know what he means. Supposedly, he's doing all of this to prevent some kind of greater evil, and he really wants to become a sacrifice. Damn it, Jeremy, stop pushing me.
God damn it, Jeremy. I'm gonna save you. Don't worry.
My back!
How do you save someone who doesn't want to be saved? Well, he's gonna get saved no matter what. I just need to find the temple somehow.
In our conversation, Jeremy told us that there's some kind of temple that holds the key to break in his pact with the Jordan Peterson. If we get to that temple, we might be able to free Jeremy. So how do we get there? Just go inside of him. We're somehow in Egypt, I think. We get a beautiful view of an eclipse above a desert. After exploring a bit, we find a rope and climb down this inconspicuous hole, and boom, we're inside an ancient temple. Now we have to fight these bad things, and why does this remind me of Alone in the Dark 2008? Just thinking about it made me die. No, my head, it clipped through the floor. They're super weak, they die from one hit, but it's annoying to hit them. But it's easy for them to hit you. They're probably the most irritating enemies in the game. This whole section reminds me of the last part of Alone in the Dark 2008, where you also had to solve a bunch of puzzles in an ancient temple. But at least there was some challenge over there. Here, it's super easy. Like most of the puzzles. Oh, I have a laser. Oh, there's a big blue dot right in front of me. I wonder what I need to do. Okay. I think I've made fun of the puzzles too much. I should probably stop doing that. Nah, I'm probably gonna keep doing that. We need to find some medallions and use them to fire blue lasers at the statue of Jordan Peterson.
As you climb the business hierarchies, that you also have to take on more responsibility. You're a son of a bitch.
Also, we get what is basically a turret section. We do this a few times so we can shoot a big laser at the center of the floor. And then everything starts to collapse. Get out of my way! What? This works too, I guess. You too. Get out of the way. This works too, I guess. Oh no, the door closed. Ah! We make it to the big circle that opened up, and we find a strange dagger. I think this dagger is supposed to be a reference to the one from the original game. The one you can use to kill this Lovecraftian purple pixel monster.
I am the danger.
We also find some suspicious psychiatric notes.
Acknowledge psychological trauma, break through barriers of self-deceit, temperamental behavior. These are the Dark Man's terms. The contract. Huh?
We don't have time to think about it though, because these annoying bad things are back and they're here to take us away, without consent. Which is another thing that reminds me of Alone in the Dark 2008, where that useless bitch was kidnapped. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me, game. That's too much PTSD for me. How nice of them to put me down here and let me rest. They even put my head next to my feet. Thanks, guys.
Hey. Hey, detective? What are you doing?
Oh, I found some.
Great. Was it alcohol?
I actually found a lot of alcohol. Thanks for asking.
I think I know how to break the contract with the Dark Man.
What exactly does that mean?
Everything going back to normal.
Alright. I found some more information on Dorsetto and the patients. There are some seriously strange things going on here. I'm pretty sure 2 of the patients are dead and maybe even the clerk.
Oh yeah, I kind of just gave up on worrying about that.
Well, just keep your eyes open, I suppose. What were you doing again?
Jeremy made a pact with the Dark Man to keep all the madness locked inside Dorsetto.
Alright.
I'm gonna break it. I just have to... Where is it? Where's the talisman?
It's around your neck?
I
worry, Detective.
Don't, I'm fine.
I worry that you're not much help on this case. At least you're a good distraction.
Trust me, you're getting your money's worth. At this rate, I'm an absolute bargain.
If you're wondering why Emily isn't taking us seriously and isn't freaking out about what's going on, it's because, well, she doesn't know what's going on. She's investigating some small, unimportant stuff, like a couple of murders or something. Who cares about that? Lovecraft is attacking us with his green filter, but she doesn't see it. She doesn't see any of it. To her, this is just a weird place with weird people. Also, Edward must look like a lunatic to her. If I was in her shoes, I would be furious, because I'm paying him and instead of doing his job, he's literally sleeping on the job and talking about some weird shit. I would fire him and save my $150 for some 20th century prostitutes. But like he said, she's getting her money's worth.
Just what this evening needed. Some ambiance.
We're back at the mansion again, and we get a suspicious cutscene.
Got to be around here somewhere. He wouldn't leave this house.
I don't know what to think anymore. You run into that detective fella?
Who is he? Can he be trusted?
I think he one of the good guys. Well, you know, like us.
Will he be all right with her coming? Praise the mother.
You don't need to know about all that. Just calm down. Ain't time yet.
God, it hurts.
As far as I can tell, Detective Comby seems to be solving problems, not causing them.
Just be ready in case he starts anything.
So, that was weird. She doesn't seem to like us that much, but that's not the weird part. Notice how she fell down the moment she started talking about some woman? Yeah, it's true. Every time a woman talks about another woman, she falls down. But also, there's something going on here. By this point, there were a few people that talked about her, whoever that is. We don't know what all of this means yet, so we move on.
Christ, what the hell was that?
We find a note from the handmaid, and it seems important and suspicious. She really wants us to save Jeremy, but not because she cares about his well-being. Apparently, his pact with Jodie might prevent them from calling her. So this is another person who wants to call this female. And she knows about Jordan Peterson. This is too much. I'll stand by this tree to relax.
What is that?
This isn't relaxing, unless it's supposed to be ASMR. We also find a note from Dr. Gray, where he basically says that a couple of people dying in the mansion is no big deal, and they shouldn't call the police. Yeah, it was obvious from the start that he was a shady dude, but I didn't think he would leave notes about his shadiness. Oh no! A door is blocked with brooms and buckets. My only weakness.
I can't leave. I got a job to do.
Staying professional till the end, huh? Fun fact. In each chapter, he says something different if you try to leave. We start to really suspect Dr. Gray. So we want to do the most legal thing possible and break into his office. But we need a key.
There must be a spare key to Dr. Gray's office in here somewhere.
We search the place outside his office, and the only thing we find is a safe. Edward tells us that Jeremy might know the combination. But I can't really talk to him right now, so I don't know what to do. And eventually I start breaking things out of confusion and anger, like a caveman. But then I noticed that a nearby clock is actually working, like it's actually moving in real time. In most games the clock will just show a specific hour. Here it actually moves. I love little details like that, so that cheered me up. Eventually I decide to go to Jeremy's room. Maybe I can find a clue. Instead, I found a heartbreaking message. A message addressed to Edward.
Detective Comby, I'm terribly sorry that my niece has pulled you into this mess. Please, with all my blessings, take her away from this cursed place. I have destroyed that Eater of Worlds and locked it away in the attic and retreated to a place of hiding. Tell Emily I'm safe. Tell her all the lies you can think of to make her listen. Take her back to New Orleans. Sincerely, Jeremy.
Jeremy is really keen on sacrificing himself. He really doesn't want anyone to get hurt, and he deeply cares about his niece. Well, fuck that. I want my money. So I'm gonna save you by breaking into your psychiatrist's office. I keep searching for clues, and I come across these goofballs again.
Detective Conby. Good to see you again. Solved your case yet?
I'm trying. Hey, Grace, you okay?
Oh, she is just peachy, Detective. Are you looking forward to the Feast of St. John, Grace?
I can't wait.
Kids, ain't they great?
What exactly are you planning for tonight?
Oh, not much. We eat, we drink, we pay tribute to the wishing tree in the conservatory. The usual.
We learn about some festival where they pray to that suspicious tree that was talking to us not too long ago. It's probably not important. She's still working on her Edward mask. She runs away, and this drunk falls over while attempting to catch her. Okay, seems pretty normal. He dropped his keys, so we take it.
I better hold on to these. Wouldn't want them to get lost.
Eventually my investigation paid off. I checked the room where Jeremy was in the prologue, and bam! Finally found a combination. 913. I also found a script for Slaughter Gulch, which is the place where Alone in the Dark 3 takes place. I hate that game, but I do like the reference. After doing all of that, I realized that I had the code all along. It was in the Peterson contract. It's the date of Jeremy's admission as a patient. Whatever, I'm not even mad. At least we can finally open this damn safe and get the key to the shitty doctor office. We search around and find a note about some weird x-ray that Jeremy did. So now we need to find it.
Ah!
Come on, Edward. You shouldn't be surprised by anything at this point.
Wow!
We move on. Oh no, it's JP.
Bring it on, no matter what it is. Your life is going to be a never-ending stream of misery.
You're not going to win as often, because actually you don't ask for money. You tell people that you need to be paid more or something they don't like will happen.
Wait, what? He didn't even try to chase me. He's just gone. I told you he has no AI.
I can't take this much more. This has to end.
Edward had enough of this shit. We go to the bottom floor and enter a place that actually does look like an insane asylum. This is actually a well-made section in terms of atmosphere. Kind of spooky. We walk around in the darkness while listening to Jeremy's past treatment, which doesn't sound pleasant. He talks about 1,000 young, and it seems like he's getting the treatment not from the doctor, but from the housekeepers.
If you're depressed, you're a defeated lobster. You're like this, I'm small, things are dangerous, I don't want to fight.
We then find a note from the doctor that tells us about the x-ray photos we need to find. Also, the doctor wanted to shove an ice pick up Jeremy's nose. That's every doctor's dream. We find the x-rays and do another easy puzzle. And somehow we get Jeremy's darkness? I didn't know darkness had a physical form, and that I can just take it. I didn't expect it to look like a slug, or whatever this is. There's some evidence that the doctor also wanted to break the contract with JP, but we can't be sure of anything yet. We go back the way we came from, and poor Edward just cannot catch a break.
Why does this keep happening? What am I supposed to do?
Calm down, Edward. It's just a bit of water. Just run away. Thanks to whoever left this boat here. See? Nothing to worry about. It was just a bit of water. It's not like you're surrounded by it or anything. Oh, we're on a ship now? After solving a puzzle with the darkness that we picked up. No, not that darkness. Unfortunately, we get teleported onto a ship, and we hear Jeremy's voice.
Hello? Is anyone there?
Jeremy?
I need help!
Wait. Can you hear me?
I'm stuck in the mud and the fire's taking
Jeremy.
me.
Where are you?
The motor is dead. I can't do anything more.
Hang on, Jeremy. I'll figure something out. I'll get the boat running.
Edward is a true pal, a true gigachad. We explode this ship, and I want to say something that might be controversial. No, it's not about race or gender, don't worry, there's enough of that on YouTube. I'm talking about jump scares.
Jesse!
We all know that jump scares are the laziest way to make someone scared, but they have their place. They can be very effective when used properly and sparingly. There's barely any of them here, which makes the one that are here really good. Yes, jump scares can actually be good. Now we need to fight these creatures, these little critters, but like every enemy, they're not difficult to deal with. And you can always just run away. We go deeper into this ship, and even this late into the game, we have these cookie cutter puzzles. Look at this, there's no fuel. Oh no, what shall I do? Oh, there's fuel 2 meters away from me. Okay, we turn on the power, go back outside, and damn. I need some bug spray. We ride a boat like it's an elevator and encounter more junk. Which leads us to this.
Oh, whoa!
Are you able to tell me what happened? I put a rope around my neck, and then I strangled all life from my body. Are you under the impression? No. I was supposed to die. What does that mean? That you were supposed to die. I'm the catalyst. I had to die to make the story happen.
What are you referring to, Jeremy?
You needed me to die.
You're not making any sense, Jeremy.
Always protect your head. Also, this dialogue is super interesting, especially if you know some history about the original game, but I'll touch on that later.
What destiny?
Again, find focus.
Hey, I'm right here. What the hell is going on?
Everything is wrong. Nothing is in
place. I'm right here.
Calm down, Mr. Conby. What do you want?
Were you not talking to Jeremy right now?
I haven't seen Jeremy all day. Are you all right, Detective?
Oh boy, this is awkward.
I'm gonna go look for Jeremy.
It's like almost no one is seeing what we're seeing, but at the same time, they are aware of what's going on.
That was Jeremy's self-deceit? A steamboat stuck in the mud? I'm not gonna pretend I understand any of that. What a bunch of psychoanalytic nonsense.
I like how the time of day and weather are changing the more you progress. If you thought this game was weird, then oh boy, it's about to get weirder. Remember when JP walked out of that room? Well, we enter it, and Edward says this.
This is my room. I belong here.
And if that wasn't enough, we then see this.
I know that number. Where's that from? I did this. I wrote that.
There's a safe here, and if you try to open it, Edward says,
I know the combination. I carry it with me.
Which is kind of creepy, but also is telling you how to solve this puzzle. We go to our unlimited inventory and look at the stuff we carry with us. And oh, what's this? Our detective license. It has some numbers. Half of those numbers are written on the wall. The numbers that do not appear on the wall are the combination to the safe. 6, 9, 2. Okay, that was neat. I actually like this puzzle. We get a coin and a letter. It's from that drunk goofball. He tells us to look for something in his room. So we go there, but not before Edward says some more crazy shit.
How long have I been here?
I would say that he's saying all of this because he drank too much, but I've seen Shutter Island, so I don't know. We use the coin he left us to open the vent and find a drawing. Then, without warning, we return to the spooky dimension.
What the hell happened in here?
Oh, come on, Edward. Stop acting so surprised. You should be used to it by now. Reality is slowly being taken over by the nightmare.
Hello there.
We fight some enemies, including these stupid bats. We then return to reality and begin solving the drawing puzzle in Grace's room. The trick is to match the dark vines in the drawing to those outside of the drawing. We finish the puzzle and surprise, surprise, we're teleported again. But this time, there's something different. Buckle up, it's about to get even weirder. We're not in the mansion anymore, but it's also not exactly the spooky zone we've been going to all of this time. This is our office, Edward's office. For some reason, we're not teleported to Jeremy's memories anymore. This is Edward's memory. He's reliving a memory from some case that he solved a few years ago. You know that meme with the detective board from that show, It's Always Sunny? We do it here.
And I knock on her door and I say, Carol! Carol, I gotta talk to you about Pepe!
We solve a puzzle and follow the red string outside. And I don't know if it's happening because it's supposed to be spooky, or if the game is glitching out again. You might be asking yourself, what's this random memory got to do with Jeremy and Jordan Peterson? What's it got to do with anything? Oh, my sweet child. You will find out soon enough. We chase our own ghost, trying to remember what happened back then. It leads us to more clues, some lovely paintings, and a jump scare. And a jump scare.
You picked the wrong house, fool!
We see another memory, this time from a car accident.
On my way to the hotel, the Morton gang caught up with me. I owed them money, a lot of it. I can't remember what for, probably some dumb gambling debt growing in size for each payment missed. I punched one of them out, and I sent the others packing. It was a stupid move. They'd be back.
He was fighting the Obed Morton gang. If you played Alone in the Dark The New Nightmare, or watch me talk about it, then you know who that is.
No, don't do it! Let me explain!
Damn, Edward is a badass. I told you he was a gangster. I feel bad for him though. We fight more fleshy abominations. I'm guessing they're not part of the memory, and are just appearing to prevent the game from becoming a walk-in sim. I appreciate that. We enter a hotel. It cost only $12 back then. God damn.
I found him. In the hotel ledger, I recognized the handwriting of the signature, Ted Stryker. It was him. I could feel it.
Ted Stryker?
Ted Stryker.
Ted Stryker?
Ted Stryker.
He was our partner who died in Alone in the Dark too. They're taking all the elements from the franchise and combining all of them.
It was the kidnapper I was hunting. I put on my knuckles and hurried up to his room.
Yeah, he's about to get a knuckle sandwich. So basically he kidnapped his own daughter. Well, if you're gonna get kidnapped, it should at least be by your parents. Just imagine that they're taking you on a car ride to an amusement park or something. Only here, that car ride didn't end so well.
Oh no, it was her all along.
Oh, this is gonna be awkward. I'm pretty much going to play the whole cutscene, so prepare yourself.
I can't believe I didn't recognize you.
I looked a little different back then, I suppose.
Was any of this real?
How do you mean?
This day, just... so much is happening. I can't... I think I've lost my head. Do you need me to apologize? I mean, I am sorry. I don't think I need to begin to explain. You're just a kid, Grace. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean for it to happen.
Lies. More lies.
No, really. I thought I was being a good guy by handing you over to your mother. I didn't know. I couldn't have known that she wouldn't care about you.
I don't know how this works. What is this for?
Some form of admission of guilt. Maybe acceptance. It's what the Dark Man wants.
Wrong. How about no?
I guess we just watch my father die again then.
You think he's alive?
I know he is. He's down there, scared that he won't be able to get out. That he will drown with his daughter again.
What are you saying? We gotta save him.
We? Do it yourself. I'm down there with him, remember?
So Grace is the daughter of Ted Stryker, who wanted to get away with his daughter, but because he's a bad driver, he drove the car into the river. Edward found them, but for some reason he only saved Grace, while leaving Ted to die. Which is sad, but kinda funny when you remember that in the second game they were partners, and Ted was actually sent to save Grace from a bunch of gangster pirates. But here Jordan Peterson wants us to confront our past. That's why we're seeing all of this. We need to use this boat to save them in this memory. But first we need to raise the bridge. Did that crow just drown itself? We find the bridge controls and power it up, but nothing's happening because suddenly there are literal vines holding the bridge tight. At this point, we can maybe, probably, definitely, come to the conclusion that these are the vines from the big tree in the garden. But it's nothing a good whacking won't solve.
What the fuck?
The vines release the bridge. And oh no, someone put tiny boxes here. I can't go back the way I came from. Seriously. So I go the other way, get off this bridge, fight some enemies, which actually left me with almost no resources, and eventually I get to the boat. And then to the car. Ted isn't the only one who's about to get wet.
My lair, little one, without gingerbread and candy.
See, I told you, I'm wet as fuck.
What the hell have you been doing?
What's going on here? Look at this mess!
I'm sorry, Mrs. Thompson.
Don't make me kick you out of this house! Now get out!
I'm getting myself into so many awkward situations. Did you notice that Emily was also in that cutscene? She's the only one who's clueless about what's going on, so I don't know exactly what this means. She does realize that this place is too loco, even for a mental institution, so she wants to break into Dr. Gray's apartment.
I'm gonna go find a way into Dr. Gray's apartment. I wanna know what he's hiding.
You know what? I'm all for it. Oh, and in case you were still wondering about what happened in that memory, it's spelled out to us. We meet Emily at the apartment and get a sudden and lovely callback to the original. A fixed camera perspective, but we can't shoot or do anything besides walking around. Still, it's cool to have this.
This room feels too real. Hyper real. More than anything I've ever experienced.
Okay. I don't see what you mean.
Forget it. I gotta get back to breaking the contract. Yeah, that's what I was doing.
To her, Edward must look like an unreliable, insane person. From her perspective, she's basically investigating on her own, and he's just talking about some crazy stuff, and taking cold showers way too seriously. We pick up the only item in this room, it's a book, so we put it in the bookshelf, which obviously leads to a secret passage. Every doctor has a secret passage in their apartment. Now watch this. This is the true remake. Now it's truly authentic. It's like I'm actually playing the original game. We find a transcript of Dr. Gray's and Jeremy's first meeting. Jeremy told him about the lovely Juan, but also about somebody named Jacob, though unlike Juan, Jeremy doesn't see him as a friend. We also find out about a goddess that is worshipped by the people who live here, Shub-Niggurath, which is a Lovecraftian thing. All of the pieces are slowly coming together, but not yet. We still need to figure this out. So let's go inside this closet.
Miss Hartwood, I think you're gonna want to see this.
Is there something in the closet?
Yeah, there is. You don't see the very obvious gate leading to whatever Jeremy's madness is serving up next?
I don't understand. Are you making some kind of fashion metaphor? I'm sorry, I don't have time for this. Can you just tell me what you're doing?
You don't see this!
Chip, 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 chip! You're just a chicken. Chip, 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 chip!
It's fine. It's fine. Catch you later.
Are you going inside the closet?
Yeah. You got a problem with that?
No. Do what you think is right, detective.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. Goodbye, Miss Hartwood.
We've entered hell. This doesn't look like hell because it's freezing, but that's what the achievement says. We find our fourth and final gun, the flare gun. It's a nice weapon. It can slowly burn enemies. You're supposed to use it in this blizzard, so you'll see where you're going, but I just ran straight ahead, and it was fine. Keep going. What a coincidence. That's my objective every day I wake up. Eventually we get to this mountain and see a green hue. Oh, I'm getting those Cthulhu vibes. I'm getting those fear and hunger vibes. Remember a minute ago when we talked about Jacob? Well, here he is.
Hey, you! What are you doing here? What is this place?
Turn back, detective. You're not wanted here.
Whoa, take it easy. I'm not your enemy.
Oh, you're wrong, detective. You're wrong.
He tries to kill us, so we have a really intense and complex boss fight against him. Oh shit! By the way, it's super nice of the game to put the enemy directly at my face at the end of the cutscene, while I still can't move. I really appreciate it. It's not actually difficult, just shoot him a few times and let him burn to death. I like that I can leave footprints. Up until now, we messed around with a small talisman, but that's for babies. Now we use the dagger we found to power up a giant talisman. We need to align the stars. Are any of you good with astrology? Are there any women watching this? Because only women know about that stuff. At least that's what I've heard. I've never actually met a woman. I have no idea what's going on.
God's sake, stay dead, will you?
So, Jacob is back. He mutated. He's trying out his Cthulhu cosplay. It doesn't look that good, so we need to kill him. Also, he tries to kill us, so we need to defend ourselves. I feel like there should be some epic or spooky music here, but there's nothing. It feels so hollow. The original had nice music during its boss fight. He can slap our ass from afar, but luckily we have guns and a dagger that deals massive damage. Fuck you, just die, you little bitch. Ew, I wouldn't touch him. Okay, now this is really awkward.
I'm not in a good mood. Things are likely to be unpleasant. Why don't you just go play in your room for a while? I don't get exactly what you're saying. I don't get exactly why you're annoyed. Let's get this clear.
I did everything! Aren't you happy? Stupid charlatan! What more do you want from me? You want me to lose my mind?
Oh, so you can just beat him up. Why the hell was I running away from him then? Wait, what?
Jesus. What are you thinking, compadre?
It's time. It's time to finish what we started. So it's revealed that we stabbed Jeremy in the face and punched Jordan Peterson in the face, who was Dr. Gray the whole time. You see, that joke paid off. They're both weird and tall psychiatrists, but I'm not sure Dr. Gray cleans his room. Anyway, all of this was allegedly just a psychological breakdown. It's like all of the supernatural stuff doesn't really exist, and all of this is giving me serious Shutter Island vibes. A detective coming to an insane asylum, but then it's revealed that he might be a patient himself, and everyone just treats it like it's no big deal, like it happens all the time. Or maybe they're all just really nice people. If you actually think that, then just wait a little longer and see if your opinion changes. Thanks for the hat, by the way. Always protect your hat. We go speak to Dr. Gray and Jeremy, who is surprisingly not dead and is actually in a good and stable condition. Well, sort of.
Things are fine. Very quiet.
What's up with him? Painkillers?
No. You see, despite you having the finesse of a one-eyed butcher, you managed to lobotomize dear Jeremy.
I did what?
It's actually quite impressive. It's not like I hadn't considered it myself. I just wish Jeremy could have been helped without reducing his personality to that of an oyster.
Okay, that was easy. All we had to do was stab him in the eye, and now he doesn't see JP anymore. Even though the game just showed us that JP is actually Dr. Gray. Too bad he's a mostly disabled person now, but I guess that's better than hearing a voice in your head that constantly talks to you about lobsters.
He's gonna live.
Of course. As long as someone keeps feeding him, he'll outlive the best of us.
We can speak to the rest of the residents. They seem to be waiting for the start of some kind of festival. And she's wearing my face on her forehead. The original Edward Carnby face.
You seen Emily around?
I saw her packing some things into that old jalopy you arrived in about an hour ago. I'm sure she hasn't given up on you yet.
Wait, so everything that happened in this game took place in the span of an hour? I know the game is short, but it's not that short.
Catch you later.
Looking forward to it, Detective.
Everyone seems to be in a good mood. Even this cranky old lady. She offers us food, but it looks like what's in my toilet in the mornings.
Thanks. I'll save it for later.
What's about to happen now is a bit dark, to put it lightly. I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but this is your warning. Skip like 2 minutes ahead if you don't want to see it.
Everyone knows what to do? Y'all know the new words.
Mrs. Thompson, we talked about this. I'm not sure everyone is comfortable.
Doctor, I insist. This is important. We've waited for so long, Doctor.
Let's just go with the old song. Not every change is an improvement.
Boss, good or bad, you need to move forward.
All in, Doc. Let's bet it all.
But we don't know what we're dealing with.
It'll be okay, Doctor. Better even.
Ever their praises and abundance to the black goat of the woods. Hear us, brother. Take pity on us. Take pity on us.
Ooh, you're not ready for this.
ever
Hear
their
us
great
in
mother,
this
and
great
abundance to the black
take pity on us. Hear us, Mother, and take pity on us. Take pity on us.
Everyone to the black Hear us, Mother, and take pity on us.
Stop! Are you crazy?
He's the habit carpet.
Stop!
Well, this is kind of fucked. When I first played it, I did not expect this.
Stop, Shub-Niggurath! Yeah! Stop, Shub-Niggurath!
Get my uncle out of here!
Emily, I have to admit, that was badass. She burns the tree, just like we did in the original, and Edward shoots the drunk goofball. And the tree is kind of pissed off that it didn't get to eat the small child.
No! There has to be another blood!
Well, maybe next time, you shouldn't try sacrificing small children to Lovecraftian tree monsters. Ever thought of that, you dumb bitch? Except there's not gonna be a next time.
Jeremy! Come on.
Not that these people don't deserve this, but I think that's enough sacrifices. Maybe we should ask Dr. Gray what he thinks about... Oh, except for all of that child sacrifice nonsense, that was awesome. Also, this is like the bed of chaos from Dark Souls, right? Big tree with tentacles. We don't have time to process what happened, because we decide to be a hero and kill this smelly tree.
I can't let that monster leave Derceto. I have to stop it.
The game generously hands us some health and bullets. A lot of it. Which usually means it's time for a boss fight. We fight Shub-Niggurath, and she looks like she did in Quake 1. Actually no, it's a combination of that, the Bed of Chaos, and that stupid tree boss from Dark Souls 3, because that boss and this boss have lots of balls that you have to destroy. They addressed my complaint from the previous boss fight. There's actually music in this fight, and it's good. The fight feels important and climactic, but I think the final boss could have been more faithful to the original if it had some kind of puzzle element. Nothing complicated, but something that is more than just shooting at it. I guess the puzzle is figuring out that you need to shoot her balls. The final boss, the evil that Jeremy feared, was right in front of us this whole time. It is cool fighting a Lovecraftian entity, even though if it was an actual Lovecraft story, we would lose our minds just by looking at it. But this is a video game, so let's shoot the bitch, and her young. Even though this doesn't exactly look AAA, it's still kind of a spectacle. The grotesque monsters, the fire, freaking Shub-Niggurath, and a dude with a Tommy gun, mowing everyone in his way. What more do you need? After blowing up all of her disgusting ball sacks, she stumbles and is then buried alive under the house that kept her alive all of this time. Big fucking tree destroyed. Mission accomplished.
Detective!
Oh, what the hell was that?
I tried to tell you. There was so much evidence. Their devotion to the Black Goat was like nothing I've ever seen before. I felt so dumb believing any of it, but I'm glad I did.
Are you okay?
Everything is out of order. This isn't the way the story goes. I shouldn't be alive.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome, buddy.
How are you doing, sweetie?
I kinda like it. You ruined everything, but I'm not mad.
Oh, you're not mad. Oh, thank you. How about something like, thanks for saving me, thanks for literally saving my neck. Even though she willingly did that. They live with Jeremy and Grace, and presumably live happily ever after, like nothing happened. What exactly did happen? Is the spooky zone with all of the monsters actually real? Did we just destroy an ancient god by blowing up its balls? Who will change Jeremy's diapers? Which school will Grace go to? Find out on the next exciting episode of Dragon Ball Z. Okay, it's time for my theory. It's time for my interpretation. So Jordan Peterson was Dr. Gray all along, but at the same time, he's actually a Lovecraftian entity. Jeremy called him Nyarlathotep. That, he called him that. You can read about it online, but basically this thing is like Shub-Niggurath, an old cosmic god. We can assume that they had some kind of conflict of interests, but they can't fight directly. That's why this guy used Jeremy. He needed a sacrifice to stop Shub-Niggurath. Not because he's a kind-hearted soul who wanted to save humanity, but because he doesn't like her that much. He probably asked her on a date and she rejected him. So he did what every incel does. He tried to sacrifice a middle-aged man in a temple in Egypt. That's my theory at least. Obviously, Edward didn't know any of this, so he's trying to be a good guy and save Jeremy. He didn't know that he's actually helping Shub-Niggurath and her followers by breaking the pact with JP, aka the Dark Man, aka Nyarlathotep. Edward also did it for the money, but maybe there's another reason. Maybe the reason he's trying so hard to save Jeremy is because of all the guilt he feels from not saving Ted. The guilt he feels for making Grace go through all of that and her ending up in a mental institution. He knows he's a failure, but like Grace told him, not everyone needs saving. Yet he kept trying. The game tries to touch on the characters' mental states. It dabbles with the concept. You can see it in the game, where they're freaking out from what's going on. They have regrets from the past that still haunts them. Before the game came out, there were actually trailers that showed their fragile mental states. There's even that whole, I don't know what to call it, Shutter Island subplot, where the game suggests that maybe all along you were a patient yourself. Maybe you've been in this place for a long time, and all of the supernatural bullshit that happened during the game was just in your head. All of this applies to Edward. And it's the same with Emily. Speaking of Emily, you can play as her, and for the sake of completion, we'll do that. It's going to be a way shorter part of the video than Edward's campaign, and it will fill in some holes in the plot. In this playthrough, I only focused on capturing footage of cutscenes and other story-related stuff. Mostly. Because the gameplay is pretty much the same, including the combat and 99% of the puzzles, which are still super easy. So you won't see a lot of combat and puzzles with her, because I don't want to repeat myself, even though I probably will. Even though I probably will. Even though I probably... The opening cutscene is exactly the same, only this time Emily is the one that goes inside to open the front door. Apparently she had a gun from the start, so I really don't understand why she needed Edward. She can also do everything he can, including dodging. The gameplay is exactly the same. What? They encounter the Cookie residents, but this time it's a bit different. We don't see Root this time around. And instead of Edward barging in like the alpha male he is, this time Grace is the one to lead us to Jeremy's room.
Do you want to see Jeremy's room?
Can you show us?
Follow me.
Thank you. Strange kid.
Yeah, strange. They investigate the place, and this time Emily is the one who is teleported to the spooky zone. And again the doors are blocked by this elaborate contraption. We encounter our first enemy and... Don't worry, there's plenty of junk in her campaign as well. We take care of them, mainly by running away. We get to the store, and the cutscene is more intense this time around.
Emily, is that you?
Baptiste?
How'd you get here?
I was back at Dorsetto, looking for my Uncle Jeremy.
Jeremy's your uncle. I didn't know.
Why would you? You're still working at Dorsetto?
Yeah, both me and Lotta stuck around. We're real orderlies now. You remember my sister Lotta, don't you?
Yeah, make small talk after almost choking me to death. Also, damn, big boy strong. There's also this part.
Truer words have yet been spoken, Mrs. Marcus.
Don't call me that. It's Miss Emily Hartwood. There's no reason to call me anything else.
I'm sorry, Miss Emily.
There's something in her past that she doesn't want to talk about, but we still don't know what that is. The monsters can come in, so I got a good look at them. So pretty. We run away for more spooky monsters and find the talisman. We already know that the code is 358, so we do it and open the door. Now it's time for our therapy session.
Good to see you again, Miss Hartwood. Mrs. Thompson told me you were here. She also alerted me that you brought a detective with you. I'm very curious to hear what this is all about. You don't remember me, do you, Miss Hartwood? We met at your family's house in the Garden District, when your uncle was about to be admitted under my care.
No, I remember. Sorry. I'm not really feeling well.
Oh, in that case, have a seat. Let me make you a drink.
Oh, you're not feeling well? Have more alcohol.
The only amusement I took from my visit was discovering that the young lady's drink was an old-fashioned.
Very astute. Is that supposed to make you seem attentive or intelligent?
Whatever you prefer.
A bit passive-aggressive, aren't we?
If I find out you're treating him badly, I'll be taking him back with me to New Orleans.
Really? Jeremy is free to leave with you. I won't object. However, there is one problem, as you might have learned. He is, in fact, missing.
Yeah, no shit, you slimy Lovecraftian abomination.
He constantly complains about events not presenting themselves according to their divine nature.
And the Dark Man?
Hard to tell if it was ever anything specific. Jeremy uses the Dark Man as a psychological scapegoat to avoid facing the truth that he is in any way at fault.
You don't think there can be any truth to the Dark Man's supernatural existence?
Why would you ask that?
Can we ever be sure?
If the Dark Man is some sort of evil presence that is in possession of Jeremy?
Well...
I assure you, Any evidence that you experience supporting that claim is purely delusional. Don't get caught up in mass hysteria, Miss Hartwood. You wouldn't want to take your uncle's place in this hospital, would you?
I'll be leaving now, Doctor. I need to keep looking for my uncle.
Do so, Miss Hartwood. I'll let you know if he shows up.
Well, that was unpleasant. When's my next session? After that stupendous conversation, we run into Edward. And this time it's reversed. Now it's Edward who thinks that Emily is cuckoo in the head.
I don't know what's happening.
This is a very stressful situation for you, I understand.
Ugh, no, you don't understand.
Just take a deep breath. Why don't you sit down, smoke some of the Perique? If you want, I could even drive you back to New Orleans. I just want to have a talk with Dr. Gray first.
I want to stay. I found a talisman just like the one in the painting. I think I might be able to figure out where Tarawea is, where Jeremy wanted to go.
That's great. Just stay out of trouble, okay? Let me handle the investigation.
I'm not crazy, Detective. Not yet.
Okay, catch you later.
It's funny seeing Edward being the quote-unquote normal person this time. He's all like, whoa, this chick is crazy. I'm just gonna let her do whatever she wants, while I handle the big boy stuff. Something amusing happened here. I tried opening this safe way earlier than usual, because I already knew the code. It's where you normally get the key to Dr. Gray's office. I didn't get the key that was supposed to be here. Instead, I got this collectible. Cool, it's a bound cover of the original game. Also, she's very sarcastic and self-aware.
Oh wow, I can't believe I guessed the combination. I must be some kind of genius.
She's basically breaking the fourth wall. We do the same puzzles, get teleported to the spooky zone, then get teleported back. Did you miss Ruth? Well, here she is. Yeah, so I just got back from an evil dimension with Cthulhu monsters and a conversation with your psychiatrist, which was actually more scary than the monsters. Anyway, how's your sex life?
Good evening, Miss Hartwood. That is your name, isn't it? I would be terribly embarrassed if it wasn't.
You're right. Emily Hartwood, Jeremy's niece. Nice to meet you.
Ruth Talon.
We share a cigarette with her, and Emily is being kind of a dick to her. For no reason. I mean, she does deserve it for taking part in what happens in the end, but Emily doesn't know it yet.
Is it all that you hope for?
I enjoy your light mockery, Miss Hartwood. I can tell we would make great friends.
How flattering. Too bad you're locked up in this place.
Your insincerity is really refreshing. I wish you were mad as I am, then you could stay.
Give it a few years and I might just be. Lunacy is one of my family's few privileges.
We ask her about Jeremy, but she politely says that she doesn't know anything. She's super chill. She might have been my favorite character in this game if it wasn't for... Yeah, we get the shotgun again. Earlier than we did last time, for some reason. Very cool. We get jump scared and find the very well hidden bolt cutters. Say hello to Shub-Niggurath, and then we say hello to the housekeeper, who is already chanting some Lovecraftian bullshit. This didn't happen for Edward.
What are you doing sneaking around? You almost scared me to death.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disturb your ritual. I wouldn't have guessed voodoo was in practice at a place like this.
The doctor may be all about science, but I know these roots have power.
Do you know what's going on here? I have a feeling Derceto is cursed.
There are several players with stakes in this game. Derceto isn't cursed or blessed. It's a battleground. And it would all be a lot better if you could get your uncle out sooner than later.
She knows exactly what's going on. When she's talking about a battleground with several players, it's like she's confirming my theory. The Lovecraftian tree and the Lovecraftian JP are the players, and this mansion is the battleground. Anyway, she doesn't help us. so we go solve some incredibly difficult puzzles, and boom, we're in the spooky zone again.
I did it. I opened up another dream.
It's the same as before. We fight some monsters who are super easy to deal with now that I remembered how to dodge, but there's more glitches this time. We use the tough cloth again and go deeper into the swamp. This creature appears again, and it's here when I think to myself, damn, it's a shame we don't get to fight it. Is it just here to look mean in the cutscenes? We'll get an answer to that question very soon. We head to the cave, and this time, it plays out a bit differently.
Mrs. Marcus?
Get off of me!
What are you doing here?
Trying to find my uncle.
Jeremy is your uncle?
Could you please?
This is the second time this happened. Both of them did this to Emily, but not to Edward. Is it because she's a woman? Or is it because they think she looks like a green Lovecraftian monster? Her clothes might seem a bit greenish, depending on the lighting, maybe. But that's a bit of a stretch. The big cockroach monster shows up, and we teleport back just in time.
Oh, god damn my soul.
We fight some monsters, we kick their asses. And then she's all like,
okay, that wasn't so bad.
Oh nice, she's getting used to it. We meet Grace and we talk about playing the piano. But it's broken because it fell from the attic. And also she's more interested in touching us. Hugs are nice. Ah, you little shit.
I'm gonna go now. See you around.
What? You don't get to just walk away after you stabbed someone in the butt. I actually don't know what the point of this was. What the point of this was? Get it? The point of the syringe she stabbed me with? Get it? Did you get it? So from Emily's perspective, a child that she doesn't know hugged her and stabbed her in the butt. Now that's not something that happens every day. Everything stays relatively the same for now. We go to the cemetery, fight more abominations, just another normal day. Until we meet Jeremy.
Emily, is that you?
Jeremy!
What are you doing here?
Well, you sounded so miserable in your letter. I've come to take you away from here.
I can't believe I made such a foolish mistake. All I wanted was for you to stay away.
What do you mean?
I bargained with the Dark Man. A pact to keep New Orleans safe with my own life as tribute.
The Dark Man isn't real, Jeremy. There's nothing he can do to hurt you.
What? What? How are you still questioning it after everything you've seen?
How do you think any of this is happening?
Yeah, exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Fine. Then let me help.
Don't be foolish. He will bury you next to me in his sunken temple for an eternity.
I don't care. I'll find a way. I have my own talisman and I know about Tarawea.
Oh, wait, don't speak.
Who's in here? Show yourself.
You know who, Emily. He took your grandfather.
No, I mean it. Who's in here? I can feel someone's in here.
Hello, Lobsterman. Long time no see. Could you tone the brightness down?
Tarawea. Why do you want to go there, Jeremy?
At least this time Jeremy didn't knock me out. We take the telescope lens from his luggage and solve the puzzle that solves itself. And finally, we meet the actual best character in this game. Again.
You should not have come, Emily.
How do you know my name? Have we met?
In a manner of speaking. As a manifestation of Jeremy's deepest desires, I am to you unfamiliar. Yet I know of you.
Juan, my boy, how have you been? Did you miss me? I've missed you. If you're still not sure why Jeremy did what he did, Juan basically spells it out.
What's the point? I don't understand what the pact is for.
The people of Derceto are calling upon evil to enter this world. Your uncle offered his soul to the Dark Man to contain this disaster.
What? No, that doesn't make any sense.
The pact will be fulfilled at dawn. As the sun rises, Jeremy will forever be entombed in his sunken desert temple. As promised, the Dark Man shall quarantine and starve the evil inside Derceto.
What about all the patients and the staff?
They will not stand a chance.
He tells us about the Dark Peterson and tells us to be careful.
He's here?
You'll have to be very careful.
Of course. I can be careful. I can be careful.
Like before, he's super easy to deal with. Even though he can make you do that thing that YouTube doesn't like if you say what it is, he's still really easy to run away from. His AI is barely functional. This time, however, he doesn't snatch the book from us, like an asshole. He just walks menacingly.
Emily!
I'm slightly less terrible than I was yesterday. You are not paying attention. I'm without error. That's just...
Of course, Juan the Spanish Gigached comes and saves us from him.
I hope you found what you were looking for, Emily. I fear there is no going back.
He's in my head, Juan. His breath replacing mine.
You should not have come, Emily.
Did he just heal her just by touching her? Is he like an Namekian, but instead of healing physical pain, he heals emotional damage? We meet Ruth again, and instead of talking about the shit we've just been through, we just gossip over drinks and cigarettes. Just a normal girls' night.
Are we in New Orleans?
Oh, who can tell anymore? I just went inside the grand parlor and suddenly here I am.
So she also teleports to random places against her will. But I guess she got used to it, since she's not freaking out at all. But she can also control where she teleports, because she does this again.
You don't happen to know how to find the Prex shipping company, do you?
Of course. Their office is just over there.
Whoa, what happened?
You just got lucky. A bientôt, Mademoiselle Emily.
Thanks, Ruth. You blonde bitch.
Surprise, motherfucker!
What the fuck? That's not fair. Phew, I killed him. Oh, what the fuck? Okay, this is unfair. It's so unfair, I clipped through the floor. But nah, the combat is still easy. Especially when...
This is getting ridiculous. I mean, I'm not complaining.
Perfect. What she said was perfect. That's exactly how I feel right now, while making this video. Also, we got the Tommy gun again. So... Killing monsters. Very cool. We meet Jeremy again.
All I wanted was to keep people away from Derceto. Especially you, Emily. You're the only one in the family who forgave me for choosing old age over death.
Wait, so if Jeremy didn't want her to come here, why did he send her the letter in the prologue? My theory is that he didn't want to do it, but somehow the tentacle tree possessed him and made him do it, so that she would come here and stop the 12 rules for life guy. I actually feel bad for Jeremy. He just wants everyone to be safe and happy. We go inside the Pharaoh again and see the eclipse. Wasn't there an eclipse in real life not too long ago? Who leaves just one bullet for a machine gun? Asshole. At this point, just don't leave anything. We get to the tomb and I need to deal with these pieces of shit again. Annoying flying feces, by far the most annoying enemies in the game. We solve the super easy puzzles, pretend like we're scared when everything is collapsing, and find this guy's contract again.
Guess what? I've had 3 affairs in the last year and they've all been successful. I haven't got caught. Aren't I a good guy?
Then these assholes show up and carry us to meet Edward.
What the hell? It's not okay. Really?
Oh, Jeremy. How much pain and suffering you could have prevented.
But that's literally what he's trying to do.
Emily? What are you doing?
Detective, how is your investigation going?
Well, I still have no clue where Jeremy is, but I think I know why he's hiding. This place is full of lunatics planning to perform some kind of ritual tonight.
Well, that sounds ridiculous. Or rather would have just a day.
It gets worse. I have reason to believe they killed anyone who didn't want to go along with the plan.
Detective, have you encountered any monsters tonight?
Finally, someone asks this question directly.
No, I mean, have you fired your gun tonight?
Of course not. They wouldn't just kill outsiders like that. It would bring too much attention. But you should keep your eyes open.
Edward is way too calm. I mean, sure, he doesn't see the spooky monsters, so he doesn't need to shoot anything, but he's all like, just keep your eyes open, it's fine. You just said that you think they killed people, so you're in a house filled with killers. Get out of there, or at least don't split up. He does think about calling the police, but of course Emily is like, no, it's fine. There are monsters and crazy killer people? Sounds fun. I wanna stay. And then of course they split up. I went to visit the final boss, but it doesn't speak to Emily like it did with Edward. Don't worry, I'll kill you soon. We meet Grace again, and I really don't know what the hell is wrong with her. She's lucky she's just a little girl.
Ow! You should learn your place, little girl.
Why are you acting this way? What did I ever do to you? Grace!
Why is she such a little shit this time? She didn't do anything like that when I played as a manly man.
At least he's breathing. I'll just let him sleep it off.
Yeah, sleeping on the floor is nice.
It's like, you should feel good about who you are. It's like, no, you shouldn't. Why should you feel good about who you are? I've been doing some working out, but not a lot. And I've actually gained musculature.
I can't take this anymore.
This is bloody well driving me crazy.
This time, it's her room. Yeah, alone in the dark. Last time we used Edward's private possession, which was his detective license. This time, we use Emily's engagement ring. There were hints about it, but yeah, she was engaged. We'll get to that soon. It's the same puzzle as before, but this time we use the numbers on the ring to open the safe. Instead of finding a coin, like last time, we find a light bulb. And it's from our bestie, Ruth. She left us a note, and it seems like they've been friends for a while now, which adds to the Shutter Island theory, where Emily was a patient all along. Ruth tells us about a photograph from France, during the First War, and it might be a photo of Emily's fiancé. But we don't have time for that now. We gotta break into Dr. Gray's office, find Jeremy's darkness again, get on a beautiful boat, fight some giant bugs, yes, fight some more monsters, activate the engine, and then we get the same conversation, but now it's Emily who looks like a lunatic. At least she kills some bugs.
Jeremy!
Oh, everything is wrong. Nothing is in place.
Hey, listen to me. We're gonna drown.
Calm down, Miss Hartwood. You're not in any danger.
But Jeremy, he was here, wasn't he?
Miss Hartwood, I am beginning to suspect your family curse is catching up with you. Have you ever talked to a doctor about your condition?
No, I was just confused. I thought I saw him for a moment. I'm fine. I'll let you be.
Miss, I want you to know I'm here to help, if you need me.
You're the one who's gonna get some help. Soon. Up until now, I showed you some of the differences between Edward's and Emily's campaigns. They weren't big differences for the most part, but now it's time for the main event. The biggest difference. Edward had his own story about not saving Grace's father and how guilty he felt. On the other hand, Emily uses the light bulb she got from Ruth to power up a camera, which then teleports her to Amnesia the bunker.
The war
Is this
in
how you
Europe rages
travel,
on,
Ruth?
and America is doing its part to hold back the German aggression. Ships from Boston and New Orleans arrived yesterday to bolster our gallant forces in France. These men will play a crucial role in helping...
I'll find you, John.
Yup, we were teleported to France during the First War. We see all of the death and destruction, and then Emily says,
John!
You might see where this is going, but there's no time for that, because we see this cute little big fellow again. We actually get to fight him, but he looks tough, so it's better to hide. Nah, I'll fight him. What? That's it? Yeah, run away, you pussy. Did I just waste my bullets for nothing? He comes back and... Okay, maybe I shouldn't fight him. If you try and fight him, don't. It's literally a waste of bullets. He just runs away after a few shots. And here I thought he was a real tough guy.
I gotta run. There's no way I can kill them.
You don't know that. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no! Well, something killed it. Maybe it wasn't me, but something killed it. Yeah, take that. Now we get to the sad part of this game. If you only play as Edward, you won't see this. This is really sad. But at least I didn't wake up in the bathtub this time. Instead, I wake up in a morgue.
Oh, come on!
My flashlight isn't working. Is this going to be an actual scary moment? Am I going to be truly alone in the dark? Oh, it's working again. So yeah, she had a fiancé who died. She didn't want to accept it, and even thought that his death was shameful, because he didn't die during the war. He only got injured. Apparently, this mansion has a morgue, and after the war, her fiancé was placed here. His actual death was caused by an illness. Emily didn't want to acknowledge it. He didn't die as a war hero, like she wanted to believe. He died from a disease, and she didn't want to accept that. She couldn't face the truth, so she stopped visiting him, and eventually, he passed away. Yup, this is sad. Then this asshole shows up.
Are we done here? Is this what you wanted?
Well, he totally killed the mood. That throw was so passive. Here, take it. He gave us a key, so we could get out of here. We break into Dr. Gray's apartment and get this wonderful fixed camera perspective again. Wait, I gotta do this real quick. There we go. Yeah, that's nice. Just like last time, we open the closet, and Edward keeps thinking we're loony in the head.
Nothing, right?
It's a closet?
That's right, Detective. I'll see you later. I have to finish this.
You're going inside the closet?
I know what it looks like, but I can't explain it, much less justify it.
Alright. You do what you have to do, miss.
At this point, I might have reacted the same way. Like, yeah, go on, play out your fantasy. I'm just gonna ignore you and keep walking. We get to the snowy hell, and this time I do use the flare gun. It's not necessary at all, but it looks pretty. Also, if you spam dodge, it's faster than sprinting. We meet Jacob again.
Emily! You should not have come!
Yeah, hey, we can talk about this!
It's too late for that! It's too late!
Yeah. Are you trying to make soup or something? We solve the astrology puzzle and fight the Cthulhu cosplayer again. Because we're playing on old school, the game doesn't show us his health bar. The boss is still super easy, so it doesn't matter. We stab him in the eye and realize that we stabbed poor old Jeremy. Then Jordan Peterson attacks. One last time.
That's really entertaining. You don't have to put up with any unnecessary, unpleasant nonsense from children. One of them came up to me today and I whacked him on the side of the head, which is a touchy thing to do.
I don't understand. Why are you here? I did everything you wanted to break the pact. What else can I do? Wait, it did work. That's why you're coming after me. You're in my head now. In that case, I hope you enjoy your stay.
Emily, stop!
Don't worry, we got you.
Say goodbye to JP. We wake up in a wheelchair and are greeted by everyone, even the little shithead. We go to the garden and this time they're sitting on the opposite side of the table.
Are you okay? I'm so sorry for hurting you. How can you ever forgive me?
Emily! I missed you so. I do hope you'll stay with me for a while.
Uncle, what's wrong? Is it anesthesia? He seems so meek.
I wish that was the case. It turns out that you managed to lobotomize him. It's actually quite impressive considering your technique.
This is permanent?
You sacrificed a piece of his mind to save the whole. It's a little like treating a bad knee by cutting off the leg. It's blunt, but it works.
That's terrible.
Perhaps. But at least he won't suffer anymore. Do you remember the Dark Man, Jeremy?
Ah, yes. Where did he go? I hope he is doing all right.
Yeah!
You see? With a violent stab, you made any future treatment quite redundant. I assume you will be bringing him with you back to New Orleans.
I will. I just need to find Detective Carnby. I'll be back soon, Jeremy. Then we'll go back to the city.
How fun. I do like riding in the motor car.
So what I've learned from this experience is that stabbing someone in the eye is way better than going to therapy. Less expensive too. We say goodbye to Ruth.
Can I write to you when I get back to town?
You are too sweet, Miss Hartwood. I'll look forward to reading all about your tedious routine.
Emily looks so depressed after that final remark, and I wouldn't want to write to her after what's about to happen.
I hope you find what you're looking for, Grace. Whatever it is that you need.
That's a terrible thing to say.
Why, you ungrateful little... Now listen here, you... Wait. What? What?
Hey, kid. What are you up to?
Nothing much.
Yeah? Anything I'm gonna have to pay for? You're bored, aren't you? Yeah, I can tell. You want to see if we can tear your mother away from the play?
What?
Can you believe they're still going? It's been hours. You forgot this.
Well, I just didn't want you to think we had abandoned you in there.
Can we go home?
Yes, please. Can we?
What? You guys didn't like the play?
It was alright. A little difficult to follow.
Oh, I agree. Let's just say there were moments where it left me alone in the dark.
Oh, God.
That's the name of the play.
Whoa, what do you know?
Did you like it, sweetie?
There should have been a hedge maze.
A hedge maze?
Uh-huh. And pirates. That would have been fun.
Well, maybe next time.
Okay. What? I wasn't ready for this. There's a lot to unpack here. I guess this is the joke ending, where Edward and Emily are married, Grace is their daughter, and everything that happened in the game was just a stage play that they came here to watch, which is named Alone in the Dark. And when he said that it left him alone in the dark, that's yeah, sure, that was cringe, but I guess I did that a few times in my videos about these games. Then Grace mentions a hedge maze and pirates, which is a reference to the second game, and Edward says maybe next time. So I guess the developers are hinting that they might make a remake for Alone in the Dark 2. So many callbacks. This might be shocking for you, but there are 5 endings. And, well, I'll say that this is the best ending in the game. It's kind of creative, I guess, in a cute way.
You'll have to run!
That was something different, not what I expected. Which is nice, but it's not satisfying. So let's go kill the Lovecraftian bitch tree. This time, he doesn't hold us for long. I guess it's because he respects Emily. And Edward is the MVP now. It's funny how Edward shoots him in both endings. Bye, Ruth. Keep holding the cigarette with your telekinetic powers.
No, Ruth. Get yourself together, Emily. You have to finish this.
Forget Ruth. I'm more worried about the mask. Or maybe I shouldn't, because it's not broken. How is it still intact after all of this? Come on, you bitch. I'm ready for you. Again. Ooh, where's the floor? Where is it? we defeat her and the ending is basically the same. Until Jeremy says this.
Don't leave her. You have to take her to Hell's Kitchen.
Okay, I get it. You're making a sequel. She's gonna get kidnapped by immortal gangster pirates. I'll have to go save her, and then she'll stab me with a needle, or something. We did it! We finally did it! We've reached the end. Almost. This has been a massive journey. In other words, this video is fucking long. If you're still here, then what the hell are you doing with your life? Go outside. But also thanks for watching up until now. About 2 weeks before I finished the video, they added a massive update, which is supposed to reduce the stuttering and fix other issues. And they gave the option to disable copyrighted music. They did that specifically for streamers and YouTubers. They really care about their audience. That's great, that's awesome, that's fantastic, good job. I want to go over a few things before we wrap this up. So let's start here. What the fuck happened in this crazy game? Emily and Edward have their problems and traumas, their past sins, and JP went all Silent Hill on them and made them confront their past, which somehow helped them break the contract. But why would he want them to break it? Doesn't he want to bury Jeremy in his Egypt temple and stop Shub-Niggurath? Also, who the fuck is Jacob? And why is he a manifestation of Jeremy? I didn't get that part. Also, I think Jeremy is a stand-in for the developers, who are pointing fingers at the old games. They're like, remember this thing, remember that thing, Hell's Kitchen, Frederick, not how the original story goes. He's always talking about changing the story, and about things that happened in the other games. In fact, there's a ton of references. This game is an amalgamation of multiple elements from the whole series, and if you pay attention, you'll find tons of them. Jack in the Dark, the Flying Dutchman from Alone 2,
The Flying Dutchman,
Slaughter Gulch from Alone 3, Prext, who was originally a pirate and the antagonist of the first game, isn't a pirate here, but he still sows the sea, because he has a shipping company. And he did bring the Dark Man into Jeremy's life by bringing the Black Pharaoh, Ted Stryker from Alone 2, Hedgemaze from Alone 2, Pirates, Edward's Mask, Frederick Raynal, who is the original creator of the franchise. Jeremy died in the original game, and he was supposed to die here too, but we saved him by stabbing him in the goddamn eye. So here, his actions are changing the story. In other words, he's going against Frederick, against his original story. That's why he's always saying that whatever is happening in this game isn't supposed to happen, because it's not like in the original game. The piano that fell from the attic is probably the piano that we were supposed to find in the first game, where it was also in the attic. There's also Obed Morton from the first remake, and we can say that all of the fire effects are a tribute to the 2008 reboot sequel. Edward gliding on a rope with a tough cloth, that's also from Alone in the Dark too. Besides Slaughter Gulch, I don't think there are references to Alone in the Dark 3, or at least nothing that I found. I guess they hated that game as much as I did. That place where Juan lives, Terra whatever, it was the name of a book that you could find in the original game, and it was written by Jacob van Ostaded. What? Also, I already made a tier list, but I'm gonna add this game too. A nice B tier. If we're talking only about the gameplay mechanics and compare it to classic survival horror games, then it's a C, or maybe even a D. But if we stop expecting this game to be something it's not, which is what I've been doing this whole video, and look at it as its own thing, and also look at the whole package, which is decent and sometimes good and challenging gameplay, an interesting story with tons of cool little secrets, and a Lovecraftian atmosphere which might appeal to fans of the original and fans of Lovecraftian stories, then, if we look at all of that, we can confidently put it in B tier. If you're looking for something more old school, then play the new Nightmare. It has the best survival horror gameplay and puzzles in the series. If you want something more modern, with an interesting story, then play this. There are some elements in the remake that make the combat more interesting, and story-wise, the remake takes the cake, no doubt. Best story in the series. Or you know what? Just play both of them. Why not? Both are good. It's funny how the remakes are the best games in this franchise. Okay, I'm tired. Ultimately, in spite of all of my complaints, I'm really happy this game exists. Even though it's not super fantastic, and it might not be an amazing and intense survival horror experience, it's still a great game in a lot of ways. It does a lot of things right, and it gives me hope for the future of this franchise. It's not dead, it's still alive and kicking, or swinging a sledgehammer. The grandfather of survival horror is not done yet, and I want to think that it has plenty more to offer. I have no idea what the future will look like for this series, but I see so much potential in a theoretical sequel, and it's all thanks to this game, laying the foundations. Not a perfect foundation, but an extremely solid one. I feel it was made with a lot of love. Love for the source material, and also love for Lynchian and Lovecraftian storytelling. We need more games like this. After more than 20 years, we finally got a game in the series that doesn't suck ass. Also, despite my complaints, I think this is a perfect game for people who are new to the genre. Even people who think that they hate the genre. All of the basics are here. It's hard to get lost, but the sense of exploration is there. You still need to think. The combat isn't complicated, but it can be captivating and it can provide a challenge. The story is intriguing. It makes you want to see it to the end. If that sounds like your cup of tea, if that floats your boat, then definitely check this out. It's not the perfect remake, and it doesn't redefine the genre, but it's still good, very solid. And even more importantly, it's a step in the right direction. I'm gonna finally end the video before I keep repeating myself more. Thanks for watching, I mean it. And seriously, you've been sitting for too long. Go outside, or at least stand up and do some jumping jacks. I don't know, I'm not your mother.
I'm sure it's a fine institution, but that place always felt